Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to SKTV. Welcome and welcome and welcome to SKTV. As you can see, the conversation, the topic, we'd like to start by welcoming each and every one of you. Welcome to today's edition. Welcome to the show. Welcome and welcome and welcome. As you are joining us, let's have you please share the show. Please share the show. As you are joining us, share the show. Let's have you please share the show. Share the show. A lot to talk about today. As you can see, the road of 2023. We have a lot to talk about. A lot to catch up with. Welcome, welcome, and welcome. A lot of unfolding news and information that we have to share. Sekou will be joining us. The guys from Liberia will be joining us. Welcome. Welcome to today's edition. Welcome to the show. Share the show, guys. Don't be me. Don't be selfish. Share the show. Sekou will be joining us momentarily. Again, the guys from Liberia will be joining us. Share the show. We have so much to talk about that and you will have your say at some point. I don't think we'll be able to cover everything we have to talk about today. We will continue more likely tomorrow. But let's share the show. Share the show. Share the show, share the show, share the show. We got other news as well. Some things to talk in other news. Lots of updates. There are a lot of things going on. The road to 2023. There are a lot of things going on. I'm excited to be back. For those of you who are not aware, I wasn't too well for the past few weeks, but I feel much better today. I'm very, very excited to be back. I'm grateful for life. Happy New Year to all of you who might not know or I might not have informed or say Happy New Year to some of you. I've not interacted with you ever since sometimes last December. Some of you as far back as November, October, September, even in the summer, we might not have interacted on Facebook. But I want to say Happy New Year. I want to welcome each and every one of you. Welcome and welcome to today's edition. I'm doing some things here while I'm getting ready for us to get into other news before we get to the musical break. We have a lot to talk about. We have a lot. Like I said, Sekou will be joining us. We do have a lot. Very, 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 very big things to talk about. We have a lot. So share the show, guys. Don't be mean. Share the show. Some people will come on here and they'll just watch the show free. They'll not share the show with a friend. You'll share the show, man. You'll share the show. Welcome to each and every one of you. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Today is the 14th. Pretty close to half of November. January is gone. But share the show, though. On some real note, share the show. No joke. Please share the show. We want you to please share the show. No joke. Share the show. Because we intend to have a very, 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 very good conversation here. Yes. As you share the show, we can know. Is that Ernestine Bernard? Thank you for sharing. Uh, my man Monk. Thank you for sharing, bro. You already know that family now, so you gotta keep it as that. Good looking, bro. Share the show, guys. A lot to talk about. We will start off this morning or this afternoon with the American politics. Hey, Eric. Thank you for following us from Texas. Hello, Marula Moore. Welcome to the show. Fumba Toure. Welcome to the show. My man, you and your Jeremiah Wabo Bene Umpa. Anybody who get you as supporter umpa the real guys, somebody who who can relent, who can give up. Okay, Jeremiah Wabo will be the next president. Like, bro, no problem with that one. Sylvester, welcome to the show, my man. President Mo, my man, you already know family, bro. You already know as always. Thanks, good looking. Evelyn Hill, welcome to the show. Boy, welcome to the show. Let's see. They show yesterday looking like it will be noisy and there will be some serious things be discussed here. We discuss some serious things. I begging you, my people, that New Year in here. We now want anybody to come on the show with attitude. The show, we now want attitude being inside. Share the show, even if you very or share the show. Yeah, but in all honesty, I'm still not too well. But we have to do what we have to do. Like I said, Sekou will be joining us. The guys from Liberia will be joining us. It's a big, deep conversation that we are intending to have today. So share the show, guys. Share the show. Don't be mean. Share the show. If you not share the show, if you not share the show, if you not share the show, you'll be in problem. Share the show. Share into all your gossip chat room there. Into all your chat room where you can be having chili play and all that. Share there. Share into all the noisy chat room. All the chat room where you can play all the lines. Share there. No, but share the show though. For real. Share the show, please. Share the show, man. We gotta beg you again to share the show. Can't be sharing show then what they can be causing you. We're talking about serious show then. Share the show, man. Yeah, share the show, man. Yeah, don't be mean. Share the show. My people, you share the show. You share the show. Anyways, anywho, like I say, yeah, America. Share the show though. No, we don't want to play around. Share the show. Let's share the show. Okay, I think I've gotten some basic information here. So I would like to, when we start a conversation, you share the show, guys. Share the show, share the show, share the show. Let me please give me 1 second here. We're going 8 minutes. Give me 1 second. Let me do this really quick, please, before I get to the talking point. Oh, okay. See, someone started sharing the show from. Yeah, my man Ibrahim, you on FC Barcelona. Don't even check that, bro. I beg you. Nobody's too big. Me, you on FC Barcelona. That what team there, bro. We got Brazilian more on the team too, bro. Don't even leave behind. Dorothy Service, welcome to the show. Happy New Year to you, Mama. I miss most of you and all of you. Even those that come on here, though, sometimes give me a hard time. They let my business, but they can be hard. Let my business. Those of you that come on here to cuss, get vexed, still love you, though. The love is still there. Like I said, we have a lot to talk about because there's a lot going on. Sekou will be coming on, and I will be speaking with Sekou about some. The good thing about SKTV is even though we do work together, but interestingly, we have different sources. You see, we have different sources that would inform us on different things, and So I've got to ask Siku about some updates. While myself will be providing you some updates. But before we get into the conversation, I'd like to start off, first of all, by saying to you, let's, you know what, let me take 1 minute to get into the musical break, because once we get back, we get into other news really, really quick. We got other news we got to talk about. We got some other news that we have to talk about, we got to bring to you. So let's get into the musical break really, really quick, then we get into other news. Let me play the music we used to listen to during our own time. I'm talking about the beginning. Let me play our own music that we used to listen to during our time. Yeah, back in the days during our time. We own no copyright to this song. This music or this song is only played for entertainment purposes. We own no copyright. But let's go back just a few minutes. This song will just be played for a few minutes. Will be share the show, invite someone. We got updates on the Jose Human Black Eye situation. We have been following the story very quietly. And some of you who have followed my Facebook, Moses page, we have hinted you. We termed that as drip, 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 and trip. And we got some things to talk about as well. Some other political things that are happening. The landscape is shifting. There are a lot of things that are happening in silence or quietude. And so it's important for us to bring some of these things up to you and bring you up to speed. There are a lot of surprising unfolding events that would be happening in the next few days. So let's, I think if I should play this song. Okay, let me play it quick because let me play it quick.
You're my life. You're my sweet, sweet, sweet sensation. Fire my imagination, girl, I adore you. Wanna move, she did. The apple of my eye, she's my lady. What can I do without your love? How can I live without your love, my lady? Masusu, bende masusu, bende masusu. Etana wala baby. I remember when we met, and you put me to the test. You're my lady, and your big black eyes caress me. Your lips were so inviting, and that smile. You're so tantalizing, always mesmerize me, girl, I adore you. Mi amor, je t'aime. The apple of my eye, she's my lady. I love you. What can I do without your love? How can I live without your love, my lady? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. La prende, ma susu. Masusu, Etana wala baby. What can I do without your love? How can I live without your love, my lady? Oh yeah, 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 yeah. Na prende masusu, Etana wala baby.
Wonderful. Well, you know, remember this song back in the days? The small children, I know this song, but we know this song. This song that you support and said which we can't handle back in the day before the war. Yeah, you know, this song that I used to be our son back in the day when we were bluff boarding. I used to be our son and we'll come from in town going to the village. I pick you. Both people they said to each other, can't handle that the music and we should carry up this song, this particular song. When you play this song to any young guy in the town, you beat up. And some of you can relate to the kind of song there. Some of you know exactly the kind of song that we're talking about. When we should play this song, the particular song. So long as song playing over, you even need to put toss each chicken you set. Everything just set. Everything position. I beg you, yeah. Anyways, we miss those days. We miss those days. But those were songs that we used to really use to put to each chicken. Yeah, some of y'all know, yeah, you only said, yeah, you already know what's up. Y'all know when you hear this song, the whole heart, everything just set. You know, say that real somebody that in love with you, that kind of song that they can play. The particular song. So this song that people, this song for people. This song not for small children. Yeah. That's why you see all the beginning, somebody playing some of this song in the beginning, I don't even know what is going on. Some of that jagging is scared. But let's start in other news really quick with some basic conversations. Let's start around the word really quick to update you as to some of the things that are going on because we don't want to forget. We don't want to talk about the Liberian politics. You see my boy and I see Jazzy, my boy and I coming and they know. They know say they know cool. I beg you, yeah. Jazzy, you know. You know that was son in there. Marula, I see you laughing. Come on now. You know this song. Back in the day, you know this song. This song, I beg you, yeah. People, you get it. You play this song in your clubs back in the day. You people. This song for small children. Anybody that play this song back in the day, you people, give me 1 second. I gotta turn something off here to make sure the feedback or the noise is clear. Hold on 1 second.
You're my life. You're my sweet sensation. Fire my imagination, girl, I adore you. When I move, she feel the apple of my eye, she's my lady. What can I do without your love? How can I live without your love, my lady? Masusu, bende masusu, bende masusu. Etana wa love the lady. I remember when we met, and you put me to the test. You're my baby, and your big black eyes caress me. Your lips were so inviting, and that smile. You're so tantalizing, always mesmerize me, girl, I adore you. Mi amor, she did. The apple of my eye, she's my lady. I love you. What can I do without your love? How can I live without your love, my lady? Oh yeah. La prende, ma susu.
Okay, well, I see some people there now and I start. Yeah, my man, that cancer rapper, my man. You know, Biden did that. That this song we used to put to eat chicken. You know that. You already know, my boy. My boy, Brazilian mom. You get this song on now. You get this song on. That woman not even getting your heart and say. Yeah, that woman get this song alone poor in situations you get here. No. By the way, let's leave that one. We'll get to that topic another time. But because I know some people now forget, but the whole show now what we hear and they want to get into that. But that was buying it before the war. And there was a reason I played the song. There was a reason I played that song. And once you play that song to and foremost Liberians, not only that they remember Dickenson Roberts, but it's also alleged that Prince Johnson, which he has denied on different or numerous occasions, would deny that he killed Dickenson Robert. Prince Johnson denied that. He denied that allegation. But there are other accounts, so it's a sticky way to go, a place to be. But all in all, I play that song because there is something going on around the world. Before we get to that, I want to remind you about people lying their way into politics, into power. It has a problem. But let's get to Dickenson Roberts' part first because I don't want to mix them up. A few days ago, I think a day or two ago, we follow the U.S. politics as well. Different news outlets reported. The first person I got it from was Dr. Beth Van Schack. I got it from her Twitter social media page. She tweeted something that is very interesting. She tweeted something that's very interesting. Let me read what she tweeted. Here's it. I also read the article as well. I follow the articles on different outlets, but here's the title of the article that published her tweet. U.S. President Joe Biden signs law empowering prosecution in U.S. of war crimes anywhere in the world. This is big. This is very, very big for those who've advocated for World Economic Crimes Court, the punishment of people who cause problems, create war, and so forth, and atrocity around the world, But here's what she wrote. Now, Beth Van Schack, you would remember, were also in Liberia sometimes last year. I'd like you to pay attention because this is interesting. She was in Liberia sometimes last year. This is what she wrote. President Biden signed into law, quote, President Biden signed into law the historic justice for victims of war crime acts, giving the DOJ, which is the Department of Justice, jurisdiction to prosecute persons present in the U.S. for war crimes committed anywhere, regardless of their nationality or alleged perpetrator or victim. So that means if you know all the small soldiers there, all the rebels there in your country now, you can report them, they will prosecute them. In America, they will prosecute them. They will go after them. But this is a big leap of jump, I would say, into this advocacy. It's very good, very welcoming. It's an eye-opener. But in the same token, we want to move a little further into other, national, international politics or global politics. Santos, Representative Santos, he's from New York. He just got elected. Representative Santos got elected to the House of Representatives in the United States. I'm saying these things in other news because I want you to understand that we follow other news. Representative Santos, there is a huge call for him to resign. He just got elected, by the way, but they're calling for him to resign. And the reason for which they're calling for him to resign is because he lied throughout. He's a liar, he's a scammer, he's a crook. He got some serious problems, some serious baggages that he came with in the House of Representatives. The reason I'm saying this to you is because, yes, you can be crook before you get elected, but when you get elected, you can also be removed. Their representatives have called him out. Some of them also from the Republican Party have called out for him to resign. And so the debate is ongoing. I believe he will resign, whether from public pressure or from pressure from within his party or in the House of Representatives. And I'm saying this because these are things that we must do. As you can see the topic, the road to 2023, these are things that we must do as citizens. We must raise up our voices. We must call on public officials who are deemed to be corrupt, who are attached to corruption, who are doing things that are not in the interest of the country, even when they're elected. We can call them out. We can bring pressure to bear. Like people like Edwin Snow, they should be calling for Edwin Snow to resign from the Senate. And everybody else who has any kind of connection with the Western Cluster do, Senator Santoma, all of them. You see, when we start to take these kind of approaches and stop talking like people like Eugene Fagon, who then begging for money or begging for attention, because that's how they survive, talking about they'll carry to the Supreme Court. Let me tell you something. Nobody should follow Eugene Fagon without a stupid talk or carrying anything to the Supreme Court. CNN Yo is Eugene Fagon's, let me say Eugene Fagon. CNN Yo, all these people up there, they know Edwin Snow at the Supreme Court. So, hey, don't waste your time. Please don't waste your time. Don't follow him on that attention he's seeking from the government with his inconsistency. These are not serious people. These are not serious people. So, these are part of the conversations that are ongoing in serious-minded democracy, people who want the right thing to be done, and so forth. I'll bring you another other news that is trending, that will trend. We warned you. We alerted you sometimes last year about this when the news broke out. We told you. Okay, well, I believe whoever this person is, Marcos, whatever it is, got personal issues with himself. They got to go. We ain't here for stupid people then. How you just come on the show and just start insulting, just like the place where you can go and cause, you know the show, then when you come on, you go there, your cause. You come here, you can be wrecking all kind of funny thing. And who has time for you? You're looking for, you got attention deficit problem. You can go in the street and if you were looking for attention, but you go in the street, undress yourself, you will get attention. Plenty of people will look at you. Do you know what it means? For you to take out your clothes in public, you might get arrested for, exposing yourself in public, but at least it depends on the state or wherever you are, but at least you will get too much attention. Don't come here and be cussing. I don't know who you're even referring to or whatever, but at the end of the day, you got to go on outside with your bad luck. We ain't starting this new year with stupid people there. We're not getting foolish people in New Year. I thought that you made a mistake when you did it the first time, but you continue, so you got to go. So when somebody like Edwin Snowden are taken to the courts, you really think Sané Yo then we want to prosecute him or want to go after him? That is my ex-wife. So we're not here for playing games, but let's get to other news, because these things are very interesting. Sometimes last year in April, when the news broke out, and some of you are hearing it all around the place about Sheikh Bashir, when the news broke out, we did inform you guys that story was not going away. It was on the same channel. We told you guys that the story would not go away. I think I was very clear on here that Sheikh would talk. Sheikh would have to save himself, protect his own interests, and so forth. We talk about it on here. Today, the story is unfolding. It continues. Sheikh is talking about everybody else that are implicated into this whole scam of using diplomatic passports and so forth. And it would interest you. Somebody in our last night, we're having a conversation, and the person said to me, well, then what would be the U.S. interest for pursuing all of this? Going after Sheikh, trying to see who all is connected to this. What is their interest? A Liberia problem, the Americans ain't got nothing to do with it. I said, well, you might say so. It's okay for you to say it that way, but the truth of the matter is the American has interest in it because it has to do with global, international security. And so they have big interest in it. and they have stake in this conversation. They need to know exactly what's going on. They need to know who's involved, how far this has gone, and what's really going on. They need to find out. And so, in the interest of global security, they would look into this. So I told the person, I said, well, whoever else is implicated, they got to follow up with how far this entire thing has gone, who all they sold passport to, some of these passport who hands the lender in, and they could be charged for bigger crimes. Not just restricted to Liberia or on the Liberian level, but if you are supplying terrorists, other organizations who are very bad, other people who are bad as well, supplying them with Liberian diplomatic passports, that could not only land you in trouble, it could also land Liberia in trouble at large, especially when the government seem not to be doing anything to take actions or to go after those who have done these things. So there are huge ramifications and implications. We can't just restrict them to, that laborating. No, they're not laborating. Other people got to protect the citizens if Liberia refuses to protect horse in her territory. If you refuse to hold your people accountable, that's not the other people's problem. So, I mean, these are some of the quagmire we're faced with as a nation. Like I said, we're going to bring you a couple of other news before we get into the conversations for today, the role leading to 2023, because there are a lot of things happening about this role leading to 2023's election. There are a lot of things happening. We're going to be pointing some of them out to you. And also there are some things that are in play that you might not be aware of. We will talk about them. We'll talk about Vice President Joseph Yuma Boaga. I see some people try to make it look like it's a taboo, that you can't talk about it. It got to be some kind of top secret, and everybody afraid to talk about it. When you talk about it and say, you're talking about the man's health. You can't put health in politics. You can put anything in politics. Let me tell you today. In fact, that somebody being healthy is part of politics. The people who are putting that, trying to infuse that and trying to project the feelings of fear on other people to not have this discussion, is because they want to cover up. They do want to cover up. And we're not going to cover up anything on the Liberian people. Nobody's stupid here for you to, that game thing, your team Liberia, some kind of game place where you're just made. No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that. We're going to talk about everything. If you don't want to talk about it, that's fine. That's your right. If you choose not to talk about it, that's fine. The scene where people can get old, people can get unhealthy, people can get sick, people can die. So you say because somebody dies, so you can talk about death? Are you kidding me? We will talk about everything. Nobody got time for that one. You won't get there with it, but we'll talk about it. We'll talk about Joseph Yuma Boaga, exactly what's going on with him. And y'all go sit down in your corner and be getting invest. Nobody has time for that foolishness. Who told you? We told you from day one. We told you. This man is old. This man is not all right. Y'all leave this man alone. Y'all say, whether he dying, whether he in wheelchair, y'all will put him in a chair. Because we are the only people that choose in our own lifetime. While other people are moving away from certain things, we're running there. Other people are drifting away from electing people of certain age into power. We don't want running there. We get people that making excuses. Then you want censor people. That health business. You can't talk about the party health. You can't talk about human being health. Wow, you're talking about health being in politics now? Listen. We will talk about it. If anybody not want to talk about it, I'll talk about it. The facts, what I know, I'll talk about it. Y'all go sit down somewhere in your corner and go cry. Nobody care for that foolishness that would sit down here and we're supposed to discuss serious issue. And people might pass it around and censor what you need to talk about, what you can talk about. That means you'll be afraid to talk about somebody. Anyway, let's get into the conversation here. Let's get into the conversation. Y'all know. 2020 level in your own. I mean, yours will be on that level. Me and nobody on that level. I will discuss the issue. I will. I'm not here for that thing. Y'all won't be hiding it. That the same hush and howling thing today, may or where we are today in Liberia. The thing we're supposed to discuss and bring to the public. So that when you're starting here, people lie about Joe, we are having 10 million. or Joe, we're having this amount of million or whatever it is before the election, and you refuse to talk about it. I sign any kind of secrecy deal with anybody that I can talk about anything me. I don't sign no secrecy deal with anybody. I'm not in your thing. I'm not praying for anybody to die. I don't wish death for anybody. But when somebody is sick, we'll bring it to the public. We'll discuss it. That Kazem passed away here when they had what they call, they were in the news, and you're running around, you're talking about it. You know that Kazem privacy was important. You know too. Yeah, man. Oh, yeah, man. The day they say Joseph Boga gets one Jew somewhere, I'm not discuss that one. That one I'm discussing it because I have an issue that Joseph Boga wife issue, she know take care of that one. But Joseph Boga health, it has to deal with, it has a lot to do with Liberian politics. Yes, it does. It does. So we'll talk about it. So you want yeah, bon voyage. Go. And I'm begging you to come here. But me, I will talk about it. You who want to be politically correct, who get your political party, then you get a political leader, and who your words are censored. You can say certain things before they hold it against you. So when you go to the second round, you go to the other round, and they can't follow you all to support you. That your business, that your wahala, then I'm a wahala. I sleep good, I eat good, I relax good, and I'm here for that thing. Nobody here telling me, say, oh, don't say they want you part of a party, or you be man in a party, or you supporting a person when you say they want to reflect on the person. Nope. I'm not in that group. Nope. I'm not part of that group. So we discuss that. We'll talk about it, and we will say what we're supposed to say. So whoever want to use political terms, you can say it the way, say it that way. No. I can say it the way I want to say it, and the way I know how to say it. Meaning how I can speak. I'm clear cut, straight to the area. But anyways, let's get to something before we get to Jose Yuma podcast. Let's get to something else before we get to Jose Yuma podcast health, because that will be one of the topics I will talk about. I want to talk about Nathaniel McGill. On August, I think it was 16. I can't go back to my post right now, but it was August 16 or August 15 or something. So August 16 or August 15. August 15 was the day that the list was released for the sanction. I think it was August 17, 18, somewhere around there. But just a few days or a day or two, I wrote on my Facebook page. And please, I want you to remember these things, because you can go back and look at the videos, or you can go on my Mose and look at it. I said to these guys, Nathaniel McGill was not happy. Don't bring the sedition in yet. You got the road to 2023. Hey, that's it. You bring our brothers and sisters who are in CDC and let's discuss this. CDC has a problem. CDC's problem is bigger than the opposition. CDC will not be re-elected. CDC will not be re-elected. I was one of the first Liberians that openly said CDC's destruction will come from within CDC and not the opposition and not authorities, because CDC managed to keep a tight lip. I'll give them credit for that. CDC managed to manage themselves, even in the crisis. CDC managed to infiltrate the opposition. CDC managed to ensure that they got people who are expected or supposed to be opposition members to be under their control to do the dirty work, because CDC used cash violence to buy them. Some of them never had any integrity before anyways. So for them, they lose cannon. It's easy to get them. CDC has done that. CDC has been able to not only move in Liberia, they've moved across in the diaspora to create sycophants praise and worshipers, liars, grown men and women, and so forth, to support them. It's created some serious divide within the diaspora today. You got grown men and working women who are sycophants by nature because they can't train you how to be sycophants. You are either a sycophant by nature, you're just waiting for the moment so it can spark up, or you're waiting to join other sycophants so that you can be sycophant. So sycophancy has no border. That's why you see some grown men and women still praising and worshiping President George Weah. So CDC managed to do that. So we have a problem on hand. So CDC's problem started long before the sanction. Nathaniel McGill is not mad at CDC. Mr. Connor, good morning. How are you?
I'm all right. I slept after you just spoke.
Yeah, I can see because after we spoke, I can see that you still got a sleeping face on.
No, but I took shower and all, but I was still looking tired. Yeah, but I mean, yeah, it's good to be back.
Welcome. Let me end my thought, and I'll pick your brain on these conversations or these topics that we are on here. Nathaniel McGill and other seditions.
It looks like you added my personal page on the stuff.
Oh, did I?
Yeah, it's okay. I will remove it.
I didn't send the stuff to what he named.
You didn't send it to them?
No, could you please?
Okay, I can do that.
Thank you. So,
right.
as I was saying just before Sekou could join us, CDC problem, it all started with this attachment syndrome. Everybody want to be close to the president, to be seen as relevant, to gossip with the president, because the president said like gossiping business, to be taking news from each other by person instead of doing their jobs, to be praise and worshiping so that they can gain favor from or with the president. So that inner fighting started. So everybody, all that thing you see there on Facebook, acting like they're cool or whatever it is, they're not true, they're not cool. They're skeptical of each other. They're passing around, making juju with each other, setting up each other, getting record on each other, so that today or tomorrow they can blackmail the other person to that other person and do the other one. Yep, they're keeping track of each other. So they're looking on each other's shoulder every day. But that's a side point. Fast forward, Nathaniel McGill's sanction comes in, which exacerbates the situation and makes it even worse for them to alienate him or to push him on the other side. It makes it even worse for them to alienate him and push him on the other side. And I told Nathaniel McGill on the same podcast right here on Facebook, on this podcast, I told him, I said, don't resign. Let them prosecute you. Call the people named me. I want my boy McGill. He not listening to me. I used to tell you, I said, McGill life matter. Sekou and other people used to be laughing. You say that now I let McGill long time. And I'm saying it again. But Joe, we hadn't thought we were playing smart. What you see McGill doing today is a problem for CDC. And I will support my boy McGill to continue. I will support McGill to continue. What McGill is doing today is a problem for CDC. What follow? Follow? You are a citizen of the country. It is your right to come from the airport and rally too. That's what you learn from Unity Party. That's what you learn from Joe. We are rally supporters to the airport. I already told Sekou the day Sekou going down, I get a couple of my beginning to land to the airport too. Yeah, I already make an arrangement. They're landing out to the airport in here. But also serious note, the reason I'm saying this is problematic for the CDC McGill is posting a defiant posture to the CDC. Remember the American ambassador just wrote a few days about guys who are on sanction and people doing businesses with them. Nathaniel McGill is defiantly defying the entire CDC along with President Joe Weir. Go see the T-shirt that I printed for Nathaniel McGill. And Joe Weir T-shirt is Joe Weir picture is be there. Joe Weir picture not there again. That only McGill picture there now. To tell you that is getting that small. So, in a nutshell, Nathaniel McGill is pushing this thing, and I like the fact that he is pushing it. And another part of this also, the Western cluster deal, Nathaniel McGill and behind, Nathaniel McGill is pushing it from behind closed door. The misbehavior on Samuel Twe and the suing or spoon talk, Nathaniel McGill initiated it that made Samuel Twe piss off and get his ball Wilmer to be able to push them to go and sue the spoon talk. That went between them because that thing not going nowhere. Don't forget about that. That's also what then. That John Palmer way on John Red.
Suing spoon talk. What does that mean?
It's not going nowhere. They sue them, but that thing not going nowhere.
Who sue who?
Wilmer sue the spoon, whatever it is, the crooked team at the end for defamation, whatever it is. But Mr. Canada, that thing not going nowhere, man. Let leave that thing. They know what they own. They know what they eat.
No. I don't want. I don't really care where it's going, but you want to know what happened.
The interesting part of all of this is this. Nathaniel McGill is not going to stop. The noise of NPP, which we will talk about briefly also, that is going on, the James Banning camp and all they want, Nathaniel McGill hand is behind it as well. So I told you all Nathaniel McGill will strike, and Nathaniel McGill will continue on this path. Who told you Nathaniel McGill will go down alone? Who told you Nathaniel McGill? He might not be exposed. He might not be as educated as you think. He might not be, the person that can speak book and be passing around. But Nathaniel McGill is a seasoned crook and a seasoned criminal. There are some things he understands. If you think you will play him, he will play you before you play him. He's been around. He came from the child still at that time. Nathaniel McGill, I knew him in this thing. So that's where we are. And right now, as I look at things, I look at my boy McGill. I look the way I look at it, even though it's essential, but Mr. Canada, the way I look at it, I'm leaning toward McGill. I want to join the Punky Palm movement. The Punky Palm movement, I want to join it.
Well, you got to be serious.
I'm very serious because what McGill is doing, is a serious problem for the CDC. And how do they contain McGill? How do they stop him? McGill understand all of the tricks. In fact, McGill started paying people. They're paying people that they can do to truck people and bring. McGill know how they can do these things. So for McGill to still be pulling crowd, you might know you got to understand the terrain. He knows what's up. And he's not doing it for CDC. Don't let nobody fool you. McGill not doing it for CDC. McGill is doing it for himself. McGill is defiant, and McGill will continue to be defiant. And you know what? I support McGill inside because they want to play McGill. It's not fair. The only problem I get with McGill is McGill should be able to call the Americans, make a deal, and let them know exactly who all part of it. Provide evidences to it. Be like Shaq. Shaq Pashu right now, he's speaking to the FBI, he's giving names, he's talking. He care. He's not going to stay there and be hiding behind closed door. He's not going to do that. So save yourself, McGill. I've told you over and over. And I get problem on none of you. Save yourself. The one that will do the right thing for the Liberian people, me and behind me, I will support them. So, Mr. Cannon, that's where we are. But welcome to the show, Mr. Cannon.
Who is it? All right. Thank you very much, Steve. First of all, I want to say thank you to all of you for joining SKTV once again. I'm a bit late, but it's better late than never. I don't know where you want to start, but I listened to you. You were talking about, first of all, let's talk about the headline here, the road to 2023 elections in Liberia.
Yeah, let's do that.
The road is rocky. The road is crazy. There's no smooth road going into 2023, and people need to stop being sensitive, but people need to start also being. People need to stop overplaying their hands. In politics, sometimes if you do too much, it goes against you. Sometimes too, there are a lot of things that people can use politically. Sometimes if you don't play it, if you have the opportunity, you don't make use of it, it's also a problem. So in short, in short, whatever is going on right now in the political arena, there's no surprises. I'm I'm even expecting the worst. It's gonna be tough. People will attempt to do anything or say anything about other people. But when it comes to them, they may not want to hear certain things. So right now as I speak, there is a legitimate fear in most of the people. I don't know. I'm hearing some kind of stuff. Is it coming from your end?
Can you hear me?
I can hear you, but there's a background noise. I don't know if it's a fan or the AC, whatever it is.
I think
Okay, now it ceased. Yeah, because people got to be hearing us. I think the noise will come from Steve's end. Hopefully, when he gets back, the noise will not be there. So, but I want to make sure people hearing us. So, like I was saying, Steve was talking about um, somebody mentioning about Ambassador Walker's illness, that nobody should talk about it, and here and there. Hold on.
well, I'm back with no noise. I know. I figured what was going on. I think it's much. Please let us know if it's much better. Let us know if it's much better. Um, please let us know if it's better. You can just type it in there. Please type it in there. It's much better, right?
Very, very good right now.
Yeah, it's the overall thing. I turned it on. I forgot to turn it back off.
Yeah, it's okay. So I was going to talk about something that we saw today. The last time we had a show here, we talked about Ambassador Joseph Walker's health. We pray for him, and we'll continue to pray for him. And those who also who are saying that don't talk about it, it's not good, it's the mere personal life. No. When you're a public official, when you're a public figure, you have no personal life anymore. Whatever is put out there, people will talk about it. Whatever is not revealed, or people don't know, they're not going to talk about it. But what I will not condone, what I will not do, or encourage people to do, is to talk about it in a negative way, or to celebrate the agonies and the bad thing of other people. People going through certain things to talk about it in a negative way. I will not do that. I will not encourage that. But it's a fair game. When you're a public figure, whatever your circumstances is or are, people will talk about them. Some people talk about it in a negative way, but I will not actually encourage that, because we all got sick. We all will die at some point. We all have our flaws. We all have a little problem here and there. But when you are a public figure, you are not. You're different from other people. Everything you do. Imagine Donald Trump as president when he contracted COVID. Not only the people wanted to know what happened to the man, they want to know how severe the man's sickness was. They want to know the medication he was taking, what kind of medication he took, and people even wanted to know whether he was giving different treatment from ordinary people. People want to know, people want to get an in-depth of what actually happened. So when you are a public figure, people are going to talk about you, anything for that matter. But we just encourage each other to have a civil conversation on issues relative to, to our people, especially people that we call our leaders. But to add insult to injury, I saw a video today. That was very discouraging. That was very, very, very disrespectful. Those who call themselves political scientists, political Maradonas, those who claim to know it all, to know politics, they drop about today by going to interview the old man on his sick bed. That was taking advantage of somebody. When I said to Steve and other people here that in the Liberian politics, I say I personally see Ambassador Joseph Nima Bwaka as a victim. I still believe so. There are some political cartels that will do anything or do everything to keep their political life going. It was not necessary to go and have Joseph Nimas Boakai, sick person, interview wherein he struggled to talk. He struggled to laugh. You could see it that the woman is not well. Why expose him like that? Why other people are telling you that don't talk about it? The people who are supposed to protect him are there going to video him to make him more subject to a discussion. Maybe the conversation was going to die down a little bit from day before yesterday, the day before that, up to yesterday. But what happened today, it was being very disrespectful to the old man, very disrespectful to his family, and it is not good for the politics, especially those who are supposed to be protecting you when are the one that is exposing you. So you ask yourself, Steve, what's the need? Why was it necessary to do that? What are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove? That the man is not sick? That, oh no, he can't get sick? Oh yes, no, he's now old? It is completely wrong. So now you're stopping other people. Don't talk about it. This is wrong. This is bad. But yeah, you are there to go put the man sick video on his sick bed exposing him to public ridicule. You can't do that. This has been very disrespectful. And it means that you don't know politics. And now, if you were wondering as to why some of the judgments, some of the decisions made by Ambassador Boakai are not made by him. It means that people are taking advantage of this old man. It's very wrong. You cannot do that. So now let's talk about the condition in a broader spectrum. Ambassador Boakai is one of the leading candidates in the country, if not the leading opposition. His illness, his condition, it has a greatest import with the election. So it's a fair game to talk about it. God forbid, if Ambassador Boakai is not well, if his condition deteriorates, God forbid, hopefully he get well, then you elect him. Then he gets some kind of criminal as vice president or vice presidential candidate, then the guy elected. Tomorrow, something happened to him. Now everything is deaf. But assuming that he cannot serve, he becomes incapacitated, then what happened? Immediately that person becomes president. So it really, really matters. That's why in this country or any developed country, presidential candidates, politicians, their health situation matter to the people. They pay attention to it. They ask questions. Not only that, they go through the medical record of all presidential candidates. And when you even fail to show your medical record, for some people is a disqualifier. We're talking about these things. People who want to be politicians, want to be in politics, but they don't know politics. They saw things came, or they can only read when the clothes is on the other people, but they don't see nothing when it's around them. So this is very, very, very important. You want to know the person you're going to vote for to be president. You want to know whether they are healthy. There's nothing wrong with that. We all got sick. But do we force to be president? Do we force to be senators or representatives? No. If your condition cannot permit you, it is a fair game. You take a step back. I believe that decision is with Mr. Walker and his people. But if it's not well, it's a fair game to talk about it, not in a negative way, or not to wish him any bad thing. I will not do that, and I will not encourage that. But to say don't talk about it, no. No, that's not how it works. So, Steve, Buckey's health is a fair game. Let's pray for him, and I hope he's well. For those who interview the woman today and video him, a sick person, even the man is struggling to smile, Steve. I have saw him lifting the other hand, but I did not see him lifting the other hand. He was sitting down. You could tell that the woman was not well. So to expose him in this magnum and shape was being very disrespectful. And I think the family is to take a blame. We should not allow bunch of unscrupulous elements who are self-centered, and everything they're doing is centered around their political career or for political expediency, to use the Ome as their political toy. That's insulting and disrespectful. Back to you.
Well, Mr. Kane, we're going to the conversation just a little bit, but I want to take us back. I like the fact that you talk about today. We're going to the conversation. I agree with you. These are things that we must discuss. During the 2017 presidential election, because of time, we'll not play the video. When Hillary Clinton fell off, she was credit to one of my friends and one of our brothers who just sent a video out to me as a reminder. When she was going to her car, and it made the news.
Yeah, of course.
There is nothing wrong with it. It's not being disrespectful. It's not being personal. It's not being political. It's just the truth of the matter. When Donald Trump medical record came out, even today, the doctor that treated him or that did his medical examination, whatever it is, he was questions on these big stations that the languages he used, they were not medical terminology. You can't say the man is the healthier person you've known at his age or whatever it is. Those are not, what does that mean? You can't speak like that from a medical standpoint. So we will discuss Alexander Cummings' health, Joseph Yuma Baga health, Joe Weah health, and people pass around and say Joe Weah went France to go do surgery, and all they wanted when he went for the work. And people made all kind of different stories about him. And that health they were talking about, oh, it was good because of Joe Weah. Also, when it comes to Baga, then it's not good. Oh, because certain people want to protect certain scrutiny from Baga. Like I said, we'll talk about it. This is where the problem started for them to be forced to bring Joseph Yuma Baga on today, Mr. Cannon. First of all, I agree with you. Unfortunately, I will say it. Everything that is going on, I want to blame Joseph Yuma Baga family.
Yeah.
Let me say openly today. United Party does not own Joseph Yuma Baga. Now, if they are doing anything without the acquiescence of the family, then the family needs to speak out. Because for United Party, they are a political party. They will do what they can do to protect their interest. Their interest is to win election. The interest is not Joseph Boakai health. Not their interest. Let we tussle. So they will spin anything. The interest is solely political. It's not about Joseph Boakai health. It's not about it. Because they have admitted in public that the man is old. They have admitted in public that the man has health condition. They have admitted to the world that this man, anything could happen to him anytime. That as evidenced by that, they've said, but they're going to be the Papa VP. Anything can happen to the Papa, then he will just, so they know the condition are in, but they don't care. What they care about is winning election and coming to power. That is it. That is it. And so because of that, when the problem started on last week, Sunday, they should have been responsible enough to inform the public. Joseph Yuma, their wordings, the communication they pull out is because they came to the public. They were in or retroactive, they were reacting to the communication out in the public. They came out and lie and say, oh, the Papa just went to the hospital because the Papa Ayera or Joko Costa, that's Costa that's you man, that's all pass around be your PRO. Who is your PRO now? Talking about the Papa walk himself in the hospital and just check himself in. Are you serious?
Let me just interject something. Let me just come in.
Please go ahead, Mr. Kane.
You know, there's certain thing that I can say, but the condition of the Ome, we heard about it a day or two before it came to the public. I think I
wanted to write about it. You told me I shouldn't write about it.
I told you, Steve, this information is critical. It's sensitive.
Yeah.
Do not write any about it. Don't even throw any hint that you have any idea about this, right?
Yeah.
That was 2 days before. And because they knew that people have heard it, I'm not going to tell you what I heard. When it comes to what really happened. we will not listen to those that came to act as if it didn't happen. I listened to one of the surrogates saying, Ambassador Boakai went to the hospital to rest. Are you kidding me? Go to the hospital to rest? You can't do that. They are the one that have been very disrespectful to the old man. You know, Ambassador Boakai just came to the hospital to rest. And the papa is well, he's going home. For what? What must you do that? I just saw somebody writing, oh, even you yourself too, you look sick. How many times you want to know that I'm sick? How many times Steve announced here that Sekou is now well? How many times when I came on here, I told you, say I wasn't well, but thank God I'm recovering. Who doesn't get sick? But again, I'm not running for president. But when it comes to my health, I can go to the gym. I can run on the treadmill for 30 minutes. I can lift a lot of weight. But I'm not running for anything anyway. When I got sick, when I contracted the COVID, Steve, the first person that I spoke to politically, when it comes to political people, it was Senator Yomili Kanga Lawrence. Guess what she told me, Steve? Sekou, a lot of people think that this COVID thing is a death sentence. Some people don't even believe it. Some people think it does not exist. Since you are being in public, you are a public figure, talk about it, tell the people what happened, how it happened, so other people can learn from it. She told me that. Don't keep it to yourself. She was worried, she was scared. You okay? I said, I'm okay. She said, wow. She said, I've seen a lot of people, but for somebody to openly talk to me and tell me that they contracted COVID and what happened to them, you were the first. But I want you to talk about it in public so that people can know it's real. They can take precautionary measures so they can protect themselves. So that when health practitioners speak to them, let them listen to them, let them believe it. So at least you can be a testimony, a living testimony. There's nothing wrong with somebody being sick. Anybody can get sick. So the thing here is that when I listen to Costa, when he called on the show, they call him on the show on Spoon Talk. You talk about the woman went to, the woman went to the hospital to rest. I think that would be very disrespectful. That's like saying things just because you want to talk. So, Steve, I just wanted to add that there to agree with you. We knew about this thing long time before it came out. As a matter of fact, when I got the information, I received phone numbers and other contact information as to who to call to confirm. But certain people number that I got, it was too close. I didn't want to do that far because even if I was to know more than what I knew or what I know now, I won't talk about that in public. Why is it that I told Steve don't talk about it? Because it's a family business to come tell you, say, I'm sick. And the reason why we decided to talk about it, when they went and posted that, Ambassador Boakai went down with cold or with water, he went to the local hospital, and he just went there to rest. You can't do that. If you don't want to talk about it, don't talk about it at all. If you're going to talk about it, come clean, tell people exactly the condition of the
Exactly.
Let people pray for them. Nobody's going to make fun out of that.
And
Nobody's going to play politics with that.
And that's what brought them today.
And besides that, it makes you look serious. It makes you look like a human being. It makes you look like a good political institution that is ready, that is honest to the Liberian people. It means You are being honest. You're telling the Liberian people, hey, this is what's going on with this woman. We will keep you posted. We'll tell you the truth. God forbid, if something that will be a disqualifier for him running for president, we will present somebody else. It makes you credible. It makes you credible. It makes people believe you. Let me tell you something today. Even if Bwaka is sick, he decided not to run for president, and Bwaka went ahead and put somebody hand up and say, hey, this person want Unity Party to carry. Anybody who wants to support Bwaka, anybody who believes in his judgment, anybody who believes in his leadership will support that person. Because you know what? Bwaka is the one that telling you this is the person will do whatever I'm supposed to do.
Mr. Okada, hold you there. We'll come to that side of the conversation.
Hold on. I'm talking about Unity Party people. Whoever believes in Bwaka, if Bwaka went ahead and pull Steve Bully hand, oh hey, that's Steve Bully, I believe. Those that believe him will follow you. Those that don't believe him, they will not follow you, no matter what. But the more you are honest, clear, and open-minded to the people on issues surrounding or circumstances surrounding the woman, the more you become credible, the more people will believe you, the more people will follow you. But lying is not only disrespectful to the woman, but it's also misleading the public, which is dangerous.
And yes, that's what they've done deliberately. They've misled the public, which has led to lots of public scrutiny and interest into this whole thing. This particular situation could have been better managed had they had people who are sincere to say the truth. And this is where they have been continuously deceitful and not serious about whether that Unity Party or even their candidacy or their participation in the elections come 2023. And this is problematic because now you've put the party on a more scrutiny now. People need to ask more questions. So you know what they did? They had to backtrack today to go against their will and the papa's will probably to prove a point to put the old man on the TV or on different outlets, making it look more questionable now because just what we saw today alone raises more problems.
Yeah, people just assuming, not knowing his actual condition.
Exactly.
But seeing it now you're giving people reason to believe that the woman is actually now what those who actually didn't know the facts.
And when we say some of these things, they think we hate Joseph Yoma Boakai. But the truth of the matter is, some of his handlers and people who are around him, they are not in his interests. You don't do these kind of things. Mr. Okada, let me tell you something. I don't care who it is. The issue of medical situations, they are private, so you don't have to go into detail, but you have to be factual and say, yes, the woman was transported to the hospital because he didn't feel well. But for you to say, and the man walk into the hospital, he just check and say, that in the hospital they can go rest.
They think.
Who goes to the hospital to go rest? You think hospital are playing place? Nobody want to be in hospital. No,
Talking to kids.
Nobody want to be in the hospital
to go rest. Who want to be resting at the hospital?
Exactly. The fact that you even go to hospital is questionable. It means that you got some kind of problem that made you go there. But not only that,
I want to go in there or be admitted for 1 or 5 days.
Right. And not only that, they keep on with these lies, which I wanted to ask you to this next point. Do you believe there was an offer made to Joseph Yoma Boakai by the Liberian government? Do you believe that? If so, what are your findings? What do you say?
Yes, I believe it.
Okay. Do you have any other followings or any other findings that the process where it is now? What's going on? I know you'll be diplomatic, you pa. Yeah.
Yeah. I will not say everything because
okay. So like I said,
for what I know, the idea of an offer, I think it was a good thing. And I think Joseph Yoma Boakai and people should not reject it, no matter which fund it comes in, so long that government, they're not Joey personal money, or they're not McGill, what's his name, Samuel to a personal money, so long they're Liberian put money, they may work for Liberia for so many years. He paid his due to Liberia. So if in any way, shape, or form, Liberia can help him or come to his aid when needed, it's necessary. So I don't think they should reject anything coming from Liberia, coming from the country that he served. So, but speaking of the offer, both way was being political, and people always take, people always take advantage of situation to score political points. I'm not sure it was necessary to talk about it in public by the government. So we did this. They should have, the same way they carry it, they should have, left it like that. But for the government people, or for the president to be the one to allegedly tell, Kefasan, and Kefasan talk about it, and then when there's kind of backlash, and then, sending the information minister to talk about it, that was not the best way. But I think it was necessary. I still believe that if the government of Liberia went ahead and do anything for Joseph Nima Boakai or any other former government officials, people that have given to the country, giving it back to them, I don't think it's a bad thing. They should take it. They shouldn't. Nobody can play politics with that. I think he deserves it. That's my belief.
Well, let me go into check your message. I gotta send you something. Let me go into our findings. Let me go into what we've discovered. Yes, the government made an offer. Yes, the government is aware about Joseph Numa Boakai's situation. Mind you, we're dealing with a republic. We're dealing with a country, not Liberia, not America, or the Western world, wherein your health, your privacy information is secure. Government can just have easy access to it. In Liberia, the government can have easiest access to it anytime they want. So the government is aware of the situation. They made an offer. They did. Don't listen to Costa. Don't listen to the new Secretary General. Don't listen to them. They are liars. Both of them are liars. Offers were made. Now, it's one thing for you to not know something and come in public and say, I don't know if offer were made or not. When you refute and say offer were never made and you will never accept that offer, then you are speaking out of ignorance and you are lying.
And to add to what you just said, right? During the Spoon Network conversation, when Kefasan talked about this, the first three reactions, whether from Costa, whether from the Secretary General, or who else, they vehemently rejected the fact that that conversation was ever held. You understand? They said there has not been any conversation. Okay? But then, down the line, during the same conversation, people didn't pay attention to that. When Spoon spoke with J. Kabakoli, they say J. Kabakoli will come on the show, or they say the Secretary General will come on the show the next day to talk about it. And then, a few minutes later, they say, oh, now we know the information came from Norwich Tour. I thought you said the conversation didn't happen. Whether it came from Paul, came from Peter, came from John, came from Musa, or came from Sekou, you said it did not happen. But then later on, they said, oh, the information here, and Norwich, somebody was saying, and the person talked to Norwich Tour, the person talked to the person, that person. First of all, you say it did not happen at all. So it's shameful. And that was very poor PR on their part.
Mr. Kane, Mr. Kane, offer was made. Let me tell you something. Some people just come in public and either they know or they have grips and they have information. They're not true. The thing we had Costa were never aware that there was a meeting held in Ghana between Cummings and Joseph Yuma Boaka until one of his friends told him, until the gossip went through him to spoon talk. They were never aware that he was never aware of this conversation. This conversation was never even done at Costa and that other Secretary General that would be lying to level. It was not done at a level. It was not done at a level. So they came out, spoke out of ignorance. The same thing that they can do, they think they must lie about everything and protect everything. That not everything you lie about, something you know about, you say, I know it. Nothing wrong here, doesn't make you to be bad. But the truth of the matter is the conversation was held. The conversation is still ongoing. And I will urge Joseph Yuma Boaka family to take the deal. Who cares? Joseph Yuma Boaka worked for this money for the some more years in government. If the government say they want to put it in the budget, what in buy about it? For once, the government won't be clear about something, whether you see it from a political standpoint or whatever. Which one is important here, human being life or politics? We're discussing somebody's health and their life. To even tell you that these guys are deceptive. If Joseph Boaka just walk in there as they claim to go and rest, why are they discussing airlifting him for treatment out of the country? Why? And they say nothing wrong with Pape. And they say the Pape all right. And they say the Pape now sick and nothing wrong with him. Okay, fine, we agree. Why are you guys talking about airlifting? Why are you guys talking about carrying a different country? To tell you how deceptive these guys are. Let me tell you something, Mr. Kane. Those boys don't care about Joseph Yuma Boaka's life. They don't. As long as it will benefit them from a political standpoint, they will go with the flow. They will do anything. They will use this old man. They will abuse him. And at the end of the day, it will be left with his family when anything happens to him. This is just the truth of the matter. They go to the... Look, you can't care about anybody and disgrace that person. You don't care about them. These guys have humiliated this Pape on different levels. I got problem with his family. I got concern with them. They need to take the bull by the horn and stop making the Pape health Benin look about politics. They need to step in. They need to step in. You know, Mr. Kane, when you in this country, when you work with older people, we have something that you must establish through the ombudsman, through the legal system. It's called a POA. That's the power of attorney. You make decisions. In these kind of critical conditions, you step in. No political party has any right to come and be talking the la nonsense thing that they own. And I will call on Reverend Tapper in the open. He's a reverend to come on and speak to the Labrampo and tell the Labrampo the truth. His silence is enabling. I didn't point too much on Amin Moda because Amin Moda is not a reverend, not a man of God. Reverend Tapper cannot be a man of God and be sitting there and be allowing the boys to be lying. His silence means he's enabling these lies. I will write the ministerial alliance and tell them to take that reverend title for him. Because he can't be passing around and allowing the boys to be lying. These people should be people of integrity. What in here to hire? Why must a political party be lying and be hiding things? And let me tell you something, Mr. Kane, that disgrace that is going on with Boaka, I blame the family. Boaka children need to stand up. And Boaka wife need to stand up too. If not so, these guys will, look, we played the tape here before. I don't want to play that tape again. Joseph Yuma Boaka told us that the stress from the election made him to go to the hospital to get a pacemaker. Like Joseph Yuma Boaka said, and I mean say, that lie. They see stress, they put a Pape through, 5 minutes passing around with him, 5 minutes doing the one, 5 minutes doing that one. It's a problem. They need to free their Pape.
Yeah.
They need to free their Pape. They need to free their Pape. And Benin Yue, daughter passing around, killing Yue, and lying with dry face. They need to free their Pape. They need to free their Pape. Mr. Kane, this thing is wrong. I'm even baffled But people who so-called the traditionalists, they like the tradition and the men that cultural men, and I seen the Lofian post speaking to tell them to free the paper. So we have some problem here. But anyways, let's bring in Lofa here really quick. Lofa from across Africa. What's up, my man?
I can hear you guys.
What does that do now for
You can hear us?
Yeah.
this night?
My man, what's up? Welcome to the show.
But you got something else playing behind you though.
Okay, yeah, something else playing behind me. Yeah, me turn it back up. Let me mute it real quick.
Lofa, you can hear me?
Yeah. Lova can hear us.
Wonderful. Welcome to the show, my man.
Thank you. Let me mute what's playing in the back of me so that way don't distract the show, okay?
All right, sure. Yeah, so Mr. Kane, offers were made, and per our sources, the offers they're still discussing it right now, and more likely so they will take the offer.
And they should take it. Let me
They
say
will
this.
take the offer.
Let me say this, Steve. To those who are saying, "Oh no, Sekou, he shouldn't take it," you know, what's the fear? The fear is that they will talk about it and it will have political impact on them. No. Okay, let's agree now it will have political impact on them. What about the man death? So you care about the man life. You care about the political impact, or people CDC and carry on gossip versus the man's life?
Yeah.
No, you shouldn't worry about that. And the last time, it was not only the CDC sympathizing with the Ome, with that 2,500 the president did. No, that's not the only thing. We also got information the same time that George Weah helped him with money when he came for medical treatment. But we all came down very, very hard on the president and the government, that it was childish on the part of the president to even talk about that. To even talk about it. We said that. And we said that anything that man received from the government, we said that he deserved it. So similarly, today is the same thing. Anything the Ome get from the government in terms of offer for his medical, treatment, I think he should take it and he deserves it. Anybody want to come and talk about that or not, their business. What's important, or what should be important to all of us, is the man's health, not what nonsense the CDC will come talk later on. No, you shouldn't worry about that.
But who cares? Who cares? And the money that they gave Joseph Yuma Boaka at that time. If I were in a United Party saying advancing them, I would have made it public I would have publicized it really quick. That's what you do. You disclose this thing, but they decided to keep it hush too. Senate wanted to keep it hush and play these little games. CDC jump ahead of them and use it from a political standpoint. So they're not serious in themselves. I'm not worried about the United Party. I'm worried about Joseph Yuma Boaka's health. The United Party, they will keep lying.
Lofa,
welcome.
Lofa is here now.
Yeah. Thanks for the invitation, guys.
Yeah.
Great to be on here. And of course, discussing national issues, always important. That is our primary concern. And with the fight for change in Liberia, these little things have to be highlighted. And, we must discuss them like they're supposed to be discussed. Like I always say to people, and of course to all of your audience on here, happy weekend. Those of you who will be celebrating 3-day weekend, great to you. For those of you going back to work, it's Martin Luther King birthday on Monday, so you all know that. But anyway, Sekou, like I always say to people, I think we are on the right trajectory. Transformation is well on its way to Liberia. Yesteryears, the things that people saw and stepped on or cover up are the things today that the public is willing to listen to or at least discuss, because they believe those are, vital information or conversation that should be held. With that said, I thought to join the conversation specifically in regards to the former vice president's health situation. It is deceptive that few individual, all right, in his circle would think of it being something funny, as I would term it, in quotation, funny, to mislead the public on the health of a permanent member of society. Okay, that is deceptive to the core, and in itself, that is in another way disrespectful to Honorable Borkai. All right, because anybody whose life is valued, your presence is valued, your health concern should be of concern to everybody, even if you had a headache. The public, notifying the public is not in any way, shape, or form denigrating the person. But if you follow the recent trend, when the information came to the public, guess what? Every well-meaning Liberian said, may the VP recover speedily. All right. We wish you speedy recovery. We are praying for you. All of those things, they are encouraging. It can re-energize a person no matter where you are. Just reading some of those comments, if he was on the social media, Liberians are concerned. But those who are conscious-minded of this information going to the public are the ones who are about themselves. The greed. They are not simply looking at it about Honorable Borkai. It's not about Honorable Borkai. It's about what can I benefit from this entire thing? What do I stand to benefit upon the ascendancy of Honorable Borkai to the presidency? This is what they're looking at. They're not looking at the health or the benefit for Liberia. And that's the reason why a grown man will publicly stand to say, Honorable Borkai is healthy. He's okay. He's doing great. He walked himself to the hospital. In your rational mind, as rational people saying and listening to this podcast, do you sincerely believe what you saw today was an image of a healthy, energetic, elderly man who's ready and willing to jump on the campaign trail? I said this a few weeks ago when I listened to George Weah upon his return from his what some would term as safari and some would term it as his vacation, but I say his getaway. I said to the folks, I said, if you put Honorable Boycott against President George Weah, it'll be a massive defeat because George Weah is now preparing himself, ready with all venom in him, just ready to spill out there because he knows exactly where this man is. It's not because George Weah has what it takes. Based on his failure, I mean, Honorable Boycott can literally point out a few things, but George Weah is ready. He has all of these things against the Unity Party for what they did in 12 years, plus taking into consideration the inability of this man to stay on the campaign trail. We're talking not 1 hour, 2 hour, 3 hour, we're talking consistently. You will have to be on the campaign trail and you'll have to stand up. You'll have to ride. He's not going to take shortcut to go. He have to go to Lofa County. He's not going to have to fly to Lofa County. Can the Unity Party afford helicopter to transport this man from one location to another? Because the people will want to engage him. Okay, all of these things, they're not thinking about it. What they are simply looking at is, what do we stand to benefit from it? Of course, some of us, we're too lazy. We don't want to get up 8 o'clock to go to work. We don't want to get up at 9 o'clock to go to work. So we'd rather go to a country where we barely have jobs and go exploit the situation to enrich ourselves. So these are the situation we're looking at, and we're saying to ourselves, let's push this man no matter what the situation and disrespect him to the fullest, pretending as though we really care about the country, the state of the nation, and in reality, it's about us. It's not about Liberia. It's about the individual, selfish, gravy seekers who are pushing this elderly man and disrespecting the nation. Because remember, all right, Honorable Borka is not an ordinary person. Honorable Borka kids are not simply kids in the nation. These are respectable people, and they should be respected for their contribution to the country, regardless of their position today. So when the government is contributing to his health, that should not in any way, shape, or form be politicized. But others are trying to politicize the entire process again because of individual selfish interests. It's not about Liberia. It's not about the growth of the nation. It's not about the transformation of the nation. Neither is it about the trajectory we find ourselves on. Instead, It is about what do I stand to benefit from it. If I don't stand to benefit anything from this, then I'm concerned. I must keep pushing in the direction that I feel is in my best interest. And this is why we find ourselves in this predicament today, where young people are so deceptive to the extent that almost every young person in Liberia today value the idea of becoming a politicians as compared to becoming a politician, because these are two distinct words that are used distinctly and they have different definitions. The politicians on one hand are living and literally living off of the peoples, while the politicians are thinking, what can we do innovatively to remove what we have all our heads today to progress in the right direction for Mama Liberia. I will stop here for now, guys. So let
me throw a question to both of you there before we can move any further into this. I know sometimes maybe Dwalu might join us, but so we'll try to close the show on the 2 hours mark, or maybe 2 hours 10 minutes mark. We'll give the chance for maybe 5-10 callers to 1 minute each. But I wanted to ask both of you this question. 9 months to elections. Jose Yuma Boakai, no VP announcement as of yet. And let's point out that also the same with Alexander Cummings. If Jose Yuma Boakai, for any reasons, should not partake in this election, which for the record we said on SKTV here, not excluding this medical condition, that Jose Yuma Boakai wouldn't run. We said it more than once on this station. But if for any reason Jose Yuma Boakai shouldn't run, does that mean that who do we look at next in the opposition? Where do we go from there? What is the deal?
Lufa want to go? You want me to go?
I mean, it depends. If you want me to go, I'll go first.
Go
I don't mind. Here's the way I look at it. I don't want to limit this conversation of who next to a mere popularity stunt, or the issue of who been in government before. Like I stated earlier, the trajectory is changing, and it's changing faster than anyone ever imagined. Today, you can sit here and educate Liberians on certain things. The value of healthcare, the value of education, and go continuously to certain aspects of life on a daily basis. The young people cannot wait to experience the change they see on Google, on Facebook, from other countries, and technology is heavily impacting the day-to-day activities and life, the lives of people in Liberia. So this is not simply a handpicked decision that anybody will say here, say, if Honorable Boycott is not in the campaign, so this person there, because I can sit here and say to you, I can make the case that if Honorable Boycott is not in the race, Honorable, what's his name, Tiawan can come in. Or I can say if Honorable Boycott is not in the race, Mr. Cummings can come in, because the names that I mentioned today, why it is true that they're mentioning 3 names consistently, but there are others who are working, others who believe in competition. So I think this race is open at this moment based on ideals, based on ideologies, and based on the messaging. Then the people will make that decision. This whole idea about the people already know who they want, that antique idea of doing things, it's literally, it's getting away. The people don't know who they want yet, because if you were to conduct an adequate survey in Liberia today, vast majority of the people would say, I don't know yet. We will see. And there are other people who just abstain from the process. They don't want to be a part of this. Say, I don't want to comment right now. So until that day, when the decision is made, we cannot determine, but we will make that determination based on the momentum as a bill. And how do we determine the momentum? We will have to follow gradually to see who maintains it.
Thank you, Lufa. Let's welcome Dwalu. Dwalu, what's up, my man?
Hey,
welcome, Happy New Year.
Gentlemen, Happy New Year. Happy New Year. Siku, it's a pleasure seeing you. Lufa, Steve, Moses, it's tremendous. I've been listening to the show from the beginning, and I love the conversation. And I'm going to say this. Steve said something, that's why I came on. nothing of importance to Liberian national dignity or national moving forward should be off limits. I don't care who you are. If it's important to the country, we will talk about it. Have your political views, have whatever it pertains to you. But anything that's going to negatively or positively affect the Liberian people should be spoken about. It has nothing to do with politics. It has everything to do with the progression of the society. But I want to say this, and I speak directly to Honorable Bwaka, is being sick or not being sick, or how how the UP position are handling this. I want to say this. Let's establish a few things. Honorable Bwaka is 78 years old, or he's an old man. He's a very old man. He's a very old man. Okay, and we know the older you become, the more health problems that will happen. These are facts. It's not something you can deny. This is not putting Honorable Bwaka down. And I want us to forget this one thing. And I'm a Bwaka supporter. I want to make that disclaimer right now. But just because somebody questions Honorable Bwaka's health, it's not disrespectful to the man. We have to stop this. And that's another thing. Honorable Bwaka deserves nothing. You see, we have a society that we believe certain people should take certain position because of quote unquote the sacrifices they've made. This is lunacy. I want to compete with Julius. I want me and Steve to compete. If Steve outmaneuvers me, Steve should be the head because he's presented to you a better opportunity to transform that organization, that country, whatever he wants to do. But I want to speak to the man's health, and I'm going to say this. There is a huge possibility, and I believe so far, and I said it on the drive last night, the day before, or one Wednesday, the way that it's being handled by the UP government leaves a lot of questions to the population. Now, how that questioning goes by the population is to be determined by the people. Because if Honorable Bwaka is sick, there's nothing wrong to say, listen, Honorable Bwaka fell ill. We're addressing this problem. It's not anything to hide. It's nothing to hide. And I want people to also stop this as well. President Weah is not paying anything for Honorable Bwaka. Nothing he is paid out of his personal pocket. If he pays money for Honorable Bwaka, it comes from the coffers of the Republic of Liberia. President Weah does not pay a dime to anybody in the Republic. He does not roof houses in Nukutan. It is the people's money. Let's stop this nonsense. If a government official gives you money, it's not his own personal money. If Dwalu comes to Liberia and give you money, this is Dwalu's personal money. But if you're in government, it's not your money. Honorable Bwaka has some issues. We hope he's well, and I hope the UP propaganda come out and say, listen, we are facing some health issue here with the old man. It doesn't mean it removes him from the pursuit of the presidency. If he's healthy to hold the position, look, I will continue to support Bwaka, and I have my reasons why I support Bwaka. And another time we can talk about it. You know, people say, oh, the man is old. In fact, that's a very reason why I support him, because he's old. And I can justify that reason if you ask me those reasons. But at the end of the day, when it comes to health issue, it's not something you can shy away from, because at the end of the day, that health issue is going to manifest itself eventually. You can't hide it. If I'm sick, or if I have COVID, or like Sekou say you were sick, we all get sick. But we have to understand, the older you become, your sickness is much more egregious. It's not all the Bwaka thing. It's an old people thing. And I just want to make that point and give it back to you guys.
Thank you, Dwalu. Let's talk about with Sekou really quick on that question as to what's the way forward in terms of the opposition. Shoot, in case we'll play hypothetical scenarios here because we're in a tough spot, in a tough zone.
So yeah, again, Dwalu, welcome, man. Good to see you back on SKTV.
Yeah.
This is not your first time. Lova always, come in and out. But yeah, we're happy to have you guys on here. It even makes the conversation better. I read something, somebody was saying that these three ANC guys coming jumped on Dwalu very soon. Automatically, we are all, now because Dwalu agree with our position now, maybe Dwalu is also ANC person right now until he can leave SKTV. But welcome on board. But that's the kind of people we have. Those are the kind of people that we have in the country. So we have to accept it, educate some of them will learn, some of them will not learn. But we move on. So, Steve, this is very important question. And I can tell you, my thinking was that even tomorrow, to have a show asking people, who is your second choice? second choice because we know only one person can be president. And we know only two people are going to go for second round. So at the end of the day, it will either be George Weah Boakai or George Weah Cummings or Cummings Boakai. Either way, or vice versa. However, not in a particular order, but it will be two people going to the second round. So I had that in mind. To ask people who is your second choice, and we will do that when we have people on the radio in Liberia to hear what.
Yeah, I think we should do that tomorrow.
Yeah, that was my thinking.
Sure, let's do it.
But going back to your question, I'm not going to even sugarcoat this. One citizen called me, and I'm talking about somebody very, close to authority. Oseku, do you think we should be lying about Joseph Boakai's health? I said, I don't know. I said, but why you guys have to just run your mouth to play politics with somebody's health? And that person told me, do you think talking about this is in our favor? I said, I don't know. They said this is not in our favor. This person was telling me the more Boakai stays in the race, the more Cummings is in the race, the better for the government. And here is why. Boakai has the name recognition. Boakai is also considered as the past. George Weah is in position. He is the president currently, considered as the president, but people are not happy with his performance. People are saying he is inept and his government is corrupt. Now, people don't know much about Cummings, but Cummings is being somehow described as the future. So basically, it is inarguable that if, God forbid, Boakai decides, okay, I'm not running, or maybe for some reason because of health issue, he decide, you know what, I want to prioritize my health, I'm not running, then ultimately it becomes a binary choice between Cummings and George Weah. There's no if and but about that. People know that. So let's say Boakai is not running today. You ask the question, something happened to Boakai, say I'm not running, or Boakai decided to say, you know what, I want to focus on my health. Definitely, it becomes a binary choice between George Weah and Alexander Cummings.
Not
And if
necessarily.
that happens, that means it will be the choice between the present and the future. If you're happy with the start of the country as is right now, vote for George Weah. That's fine. If you want something different, if you want something, for the future, it's also up to you. You can vote for Cummings, but at the end of the day, until we can know exactly the two people going into this race after the first round, the race is ultimately between George Weah, Joseph Boakai, and Cummings. I'm not going to discount. End this because I don't want. I know some people from what he need.
Tier one.
Congo.
Yeah, one and
Because I was about to get. Yeah, I want to know what.
Guys, hold your thought, please.
on that before I land. So I'm not going to discount Tiawan Gonglo or Jeremiah Wapo and the rest of the opposition people. Well, in every race, you have people that are front runners. You have people who, based on different reasons, we know Tiawan Gonglo may have the people trust, but I'm not saying him with the political capital. I'm not seeing the viability in this guy to vote for, to be president when these people are in the race. Assuming, again, Boakai is not running, Cummings is not running, then of course, the next person in line will be the guy. What's his name? Where the guy name you just called? I forgot his name.
Congo.
Tiawan Gonglo. So, in short, I'm not discounting anybody, but if we look at it as it's right now, based on what we know politically, if Walker is not in the race, definitely it's Comey's election to lose. Plain and simple.
Okay, Dwale, just before you come, really quick. I got a what his name? He been on hold, and I specifically call him because I wanted him to chime on this. Woman, quickly before we go to Dwale, because you said you couldn't come on. He wanted to come on.
Cyrus?
Yeah, Cyrus. Cyrus, what is your take?
Well, I just want to make a few points on the whole Joseph Boaga issue. You know, I found it comical when people set different standards because of politics. We all know when you're running for the highest office in the land, the one of the most difficult and stressful jobs on the planet, your health care, it cannot be a private matter. It's a public record. It's a fair game. You know, I remember when Georgia was handing those masks during the Corona crisis, when you were looking off trail, people were all over the internet coming, all kind of conspiracy. Georgia had a labor problem. He can't make it. He had to travel to France and all the stuff. I mean, you see, one of the law in nature, they call it the law of self-perseverance. That's fundamental human law. The second one, they call it know that self. So I would partially blame the former vice president and his family for letting the case in Unity Party to keep making fool out of him. Look, every time, you don't have to be a medical expert. You don't want to self-diagnose Joseph Boaga. But if you can just pay attention and observe, every time Joseph Boaga shows up in the public, he looks more afraid than he previously appeared. I noticed that I made a post about that stuff when he appeared in Philadelphia in that town hall. You see the old man, he struggled to bring out his voice. He looked tired, he looked afraid. Look, you cannot put politics ahead of people all the time. The well-being of someone. Okay, why would you think that the CDC want to take advantage of this stuff? Because for them, politically, it benefits them. If you make the case that Joseph Boaga is not healthy, that he's not well enough, and Georgia government is somehow showing responsibility to airlift him for proper medical treatment, who do you think the credit go to from a psychological and a visual standpoint? The CDC. So all the guys in the Unity Party who gets to get a job that they want to lead and head critical institutions. I mean, if you're going to compromise the open health, I mean, Joseph Boaga been in politics for almost 4 decades. He knows his body better than anyone can. So if he was sit there, knowing his physical condition, I mean, like even in America, bro, apart from your physical health, people even take the president for cognitive tests. That's something people ought to know if you want to be able to commander-in-chief for the entire country. So there's no issue that people trying to politicize the women health. You cannot talk about it. So be something about secret. It gets nonsense. How can you make the case? And I think I'm sending the message to Ambassador Boaga and his family. They should make the right choice, man. I mean, his health is more important. I mean, there will always be time for politics, but at this stage, you just cannot be playing politics because I guess the reason they came up with that interview today was to create this illusion that somebody over is doing well. And in fact, they keep making situation worse. These guys are the ones trying to prey on this woman. That's why, like we mentioned earlier, they always come with this crazy idea that, oh, why Cummings cannot go as vice president? The woman will not last long. I was like, are you telling me that you anticipating that the worst happened to the woman? Is that what you're trying to say in another sense? Or are you telling me that the people who are auditioning for the vice presidency on Joseph Boaga ticket are what they're trying to exploit? Because that's the only logical explanation you could give for the kind of a situation that, oh, you should go second to the woman because the woman is not going to last long. If the woman is not going to last long, then why you want him there in the first place?
Exactly.
When people are willing and able to take on that role, why you want him there? Look, bro, our politics can be so sick in that time, but like you said, you just cannot detach one way or another. You must participate. I mean, I think you guys for enlightening the public on this kind of a subject matter. They are very sensitive. But like I said, the message is a message of Ambassador Boaga and his family. They must do the right thing, man. The old man's health come first. I mean, I'm not saying there's a possibility, but look, when your health is forefront, then you just cannot do look. If you look at the old man's age, the life expectancy in Liberia is between 60 to 64 years. Joseph Boaga is 70, 80 years old. In politics for the longest, right? You look at it, the tough terrain. I mean, you know our election season is around October. October is not even a dry season. We're just on the verge of entering the dry season, which is November. The dry season begins in November. The road condition. If you look at Joseph Boaga here at the moment, do you think Joseph Boaga is even capable of campaigning? At least talking about implementing the day-to-day activities of the presidency. He cannot. But our guys know it. But you know what? For them, it's all about this whole thing about job, you know. For them, it's that where they can benefit. It's all about the politics. It cannot be here for his help because they see it as a means or as a conduit to which they can get their aim and objective accomplished. So that's what it's all about.
Thank you so
Anyway,
much.
guys, I will keep listening to the show, and you know, just my 1 or 2 points I was trying to make.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, just before we get to Dwalu here, let me say this. This conversation will continue tomorrow. For some of you who think this is a joke, we in political season. Dwalu, go ahead.
Look, I don't think anybody from UP ever came out and said Mr. Cummings should become vice president to Honorable Boakai because he may not last. I think it was people from the ANC that were saying that. Nobody from the UP party will ever tell you, say, oh, Mr. Cummings should become vice president to Mr. Boakai because Mr. Boakai may not last. That's a lie, and we need to start promoting this. Look, listen, it's okay to talk about any presidential candidate's health. I think it's a fair game because the dreams and aspirations of the people is within the confines of that leadership. The leader holds that. So if the leader catches a cold and he sneezes, the entire country gets sick. So we have to talk about it. It's about the country. But at the end of the day, talking about it doesn't mean anybody's negating something or agreeing with anybody. My commitment was, well, my statement was, it is okay to be spoken about. There's nothing disrespectful about it. But I'm going to say this. If Honorable Boakai stays healthy, and we shall hope he does, and before these elections are over, there's no competition here. I don't think Honorable Cummings will get a space there. I don't think Mr. Weah will have a space there. The only biggest thing is whether Honorable Boakai can go ahead with the rigor of the elections. And I think he's making preparations for that. Look, listen, at the end of the day, this is an election year.
I like you, Dwalu.
This is an election year.
Yeah, very good campaigner. I like it.
Listen now, this is an election
Very
year.
courageous.
Let me keep saying that. This is an election year. Look, the old man is sick. The old man is not sick. I'm not a doctor. I don't know the details. I'm not privy to the details of what's happening to the old man. We can all speculate. My only issue I have is the UP folks should handle this better. You cannot leave people to draw their own conclusions. Okay, I really believe that video was unnecessary, frankly. It was unnecessary. If the man's sick, take him to the hospital. It's okay. You come back to the people. You say, listen, Honorable Boakai is not feeling well. But I want to say this before I give it to back to you guys. If God forbid something happens to Honorable Boakai, that doesn't necessarily mean it's a binary choice that Sekou suggested. That's not true. UP can still put up an individual. If the people don't want a certain candidate, it doesn't mean they're going to get that candidate. Or Mr. Boakai becomes incapacitated, he can choose somebody. Say, listen, I want you guys to vote for Sekou. The people may still listen to him because they believe in him. So there are so many different options here. Look, listen, it's a political season, but we have to talk about everything. This is what I'm going to concede. Nothing should be off limits. Give it back
So
to you.
let me take my piece here, and then I'll get back to Lofa for to go on the last part.
We'll leave that conversation for another day on Zoom.
Yeah. Let me say this. Let me say this. It baffles me to hear people who support Jose Yoman Boakai when we've said over and over that one of the problems we have with our politics is politicians don't invest, they don't groom. It's all about them. So when they leave the stage, everything seems like it's gone.
They don't build institutions.
Yes, that political party is dead. No one is second in line. As we speak today, I believe, in my view, from what I watched the night the speakership was turned over to the Republican, I believe the Democrats have identified the next succession who's in line. I believe so. Because they are proactive in their politics. It was Obama King time. People were still passing around Hillary Clinton King. So the institution remains, but the individual that run the institution that can, to Dwalu's point, this notion that some people who support Jose Yoman Boakai can make somebody president. I want to say to you guys today that that's a fallacy. In other words, that lie, that not true. Jose Yoman Boakai was never able to make himself president. He can make nobody president. He can choose to say the person will be there. It does not automatically mean that person will be president. Let's be clear on some of these things. Because when we run around with these notions, then we make it seem like one person has the ability to make the person president, and the person is so popular that that's not true.
That's not what I said, though. That's not what I said. Clarify. That's not what I said, though. Clarify that.
Okay,
He
clarify.
can select somebody to go in his stead, not necessarily becoming president. So make that distinction. Okay.
Okay.
Well, I said that earlier, maybe before you came on. I said
Yeah,
that.
I heard you say that. Yeah.
Thanks for the clarity, Dwalu. The reason I'm saying these things is this. If we are to move this politics forward, if something happens to Joseph Yuma Boaka that he can run, let's be honest, then we need to start looking into different options. People are proactive in politics. That's what people do. As we speak right now, do you know the Democrats they are consulting, they're having serious conversations on who to become the next president, who to take over? You know why they're doing that? Because right now, Biden is under investigation. Biden's age, they've raised that concern that Biden shouldn't run 2024. They raised that. I read the article here over and over. I'm saying in a nutshell here, gentlemen, I'm saying here, if you are true to yourself, then we need to start considering other options. Because I'm saying again, I stand by what I said a year ago, and I will stand by it. Joseph Yuma Boaka will not run in the 2023 elections. Joe said Yuma Boaka will not run. What are you going to cost me? You're going to get there, no problem. But let's get to Lofa. Lofa, let's I think we're winding down here. But
hey, what we do here, I know you started a little earlier before I came on, but there are a lot of people who want to chip, who want to participate. So what we do after Lofa, let's open the line. Let's hear from the people at least more. Okay. Then from there, we can react to their, to what they say, and then
sure.
I think that's a fair suggestion. Because
I agree. Sekou.
And the people
I will turn it over to you.
Yeah, no problem.
I gotta run into it over to you.
I mean, listening to us talk, and the part of the reason why they're here is to contribute. So I think that's a great point. But again, like what I said earlier, I said Honorable Boycott simply not being in the race does not necessarily make it one person or two people's race, because there are other options out there. Now, when Dwalu come and say, no, Honorable Boycott can lift the hands of anybody else up and that person will necessarily be elected, I found a problem with that because, again, I want people to think outside the box here. The voters' population right now, you have more young people.
You can't misquote me. You can't misquote me, Julius. You can't do that.
What was his exact statement? What was his exact statement?
This is what I said.
What was his exact statement?
Listen now, if Ombe Boaka becomes incapacitated, okay, he can still choose another person that can be competitive in the race. Not necessarily doesn't mean the person is going to be elected.
Based on his support.
Based on his support. Yeah, but it doesn't mean it's guaranteed for election.
And that's what I'm telling you. I'm disagreeing with that view that based on his support, that person can become, that significant in the race at this very end of the race. No, I don't want you to think that way, because again, if you made a case, you earlier said the people's minds have been made, right? You said the people have made up their mind to support or elect Honorable Boykai. So if their minds have been made to elect Honorable Boykai, are they so conditioned to the extent that they will simply be directed to support the next candidate who hands he lifts up? No, that is not true. I think, again, that's another form of fallacy that you are running around with from the UP camp, because you feel like that. Again, this is the reality. This election would be very competitive, but the idea, antique politics or propaganda that have been misleading our people would not take its course. It would not, because the young people are listening, they're following, they're participating. It's no longer going to be that one guy who had the microphone and said everything, and the people believe him because they did not have access to other options. Today, the options is wide, it's open. Conversations are being held everywhere. Everybody with cell phones are now journalists, are advocates, are now talk show hosts. They are now political commentators. As a matter of fact, we have people even declaring themselves as political scientists. I don't know how that comes about, but this is where we are, okay? So what I'm saying to you is this is this will be one of the most competitive elections in Liberia history, and this will be the point at which the trajectory will change and Liberia will be transformed or reformed, if for lack of better words. Simple.
All right. Thank you very much, Lofa, Julius, and my brother here, Ansudwalu. So First, we're going to open the line. 1 minute maximum. If you can go less than that, that would be good. And when I answer your call, you don't just start talking right away, because that means it doesn't mean you are on. When I call the last 4 digits of your phone number, that means it's your time to speak. So the last 4 digits, 0724 609 number. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Yeah, thank you very much, Sekou. My name is Abraham Kodak. I'm calling from New Jersey.
Go ahead, Abraham.
I must commend you guys for the conversation. It's very healthy for our democracy.
Thank you.
And your input will continuously strengthen the democratic tenets in our country. You know, I think there are a couple of things that you guys mentioned and it's important for people to remember. You know, it said, history, when you refuse for history to guide you, you are doomed to failure. In the history of that country, we have had leaders over there that have died in destitute. And previous government did not pay attention to them. And those things are still haunting those government. Case in point, look at the destitute in which Genghis Khan died in the previous government. He died in a dumpster. Regardless of whether he had a mental problem or not, they never paid any attention to him. The interim president, Judy Bryant, he died in that country. He was never afforded the opportunity. From my understanding, I stand corrected. Maybe you guys can help me up on it. He never tried. He never left that country. And today, people still reference, I think, that they never pay attention to him. So if the government should jump ahead of the curve to take the initiative to help President Boakai, I think it should be an open situation that people should put politics aside and prioritize the former vice president help. Whether you like it or not, it's something that will come from this government. So even if it could be a hush situation, it's still going to be referenced that hey, it came from the CDC-led government. But you're not going to have the discussion go for big if anything else on the contrary happened to the former vice president.
Thank you, sir.
It's important that those people factor those things in. That's why I believe the government jumped ahead of the curve to have this discussion. It's
Thank you, sir.
that we factor that
Thank
in.
you. Thank you very much, Ibrahim. Let's go to the next caller here. The last 4 digits is 2492. What is your name and where are you calling from?
Calling from New Jersey. My name is Abraham Beyuga.
Oh, 2 Abraham, 1 Abraham to another end, but they both calling from New Jersey.
Yeah, calling from New Jersey.
Oh, okay. It looks like today that Abraham Day. Go ahead, Abraham.
Yeah, thank you very much for the platform.
Sure.
I just want to say this. The former vice president or the former vice president secret. And I always, all the time I always watching secret platform. Steve Bullet guy that's sitting over there. He always praying for this particular.
My man, but you got somebody making noise behind you. Can you move a little bit? That person's voice is kind of interfering. We're not hearing you.
So you hearing me now?
Yeah.
Okay. So Steve Bullet always talking about this topic. When he come on the platform, he always talking about it. How the puppy sick? The puppy is sick. He should not run. He's sick. So all that thing when he's talking over there, he's happy that the puppy is very sick. That's why he's sticking on this thing here. But look, let me tell you something. Komi will not be president for this for Ladder.
Okay.
The Liberian people are resolved. If the puppy, if something happened to the puppy, Komi will not win this election here. We either follow Tiago Gondo to be the president for that country, then
All right.
they're going to work, and they're going to get tired. The Liberian people are resolved. If the puppy, if something happened to that puppy, Komi will not be president. Trust me.
Thank you.
So
Thank you very much, Ibrahim. So that's why tomorrow it's good that people like Abraham to come on, because we're going to be open. We're going to tell you who's the second choice. Right now, he just told his second choice. If it's now Boakai for him, it should be anybody but Kumis.
You see, I told you.
Yeah,
The
it's good. But let me tell you something. We're looking at the number of people, the vast majority, the mindset of people. people who really want change in the country, or people who are have some deep-seated hatred for each other. There are some, let me tell you something, there are some ANC people, no matter what, they will never vote for Bwaka. Similarly, there are some Bwaka people, even they prefer voting for George Weah, even though they say George Weah is bad, they prefer voting for George Weah than to vote for Comey. So we know that. But how many are they? That's the question. Let's take the next caller here. Caller, last 4 digits is 9634. A lot of calls coming in, man, trust me.
Hey, this is Ben, the undercover musician. Thanks for having me. Hey,
Ben. How you doing, Ben?
Yeah, I'm good. I think Lopa and Steve, there's something that is about what Dwell said. And what Dwell said, they should take it very seriously. Because that is what is going to happen. And simply just, okay, because these candidates, this is not about my grand interest, this is about individual interest. That's the reason why at this point in time, where if Waka is not able to run, that's why he would pick somebody knowingly. It's not that he knows that person who he's picking is going to win. He does know that the person will not win. But it's to stop the next person from winning. That is why he will choose somebody. And you guys should listen to that and take that very seriously. And it will happen. It will happen if you will not go, you will do it. Now, the second thing that I want the people in the unified to understand that, look, a patient knows himself better than the doctor. And what am I saying? What I told you, people get high. His health probably is happening right now came about as a result of vigorous campaigning he did in the past. And it has been almost 8 years now. And the older we get, the more frail our health conditions become. So if you were working in the cement factory and you develop asthma, your health professional will tell you, look, your reserve, what is happening to you is because of your environment where you work. But the doctor always
and you got a lot of noise behind it.
Yeah.
We're not going to tell you that, look, stop working in the cement factory because that was
The noise.
your
Take
bill.
out and go, just
But
leave.
it's time for you to use your own common sense to know that what aggravated your present problem was because you work in a cement factory. So brother over there told us, so why you guys want to make a go back to the same thing that Floyd brought about is probably the only reason is that because people are only seeking their own interest, which is wrong. I'll start there for now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. We're having a lot of calls, man. We'll take a few more and then we'll go to our guys on here. Let's see here. All right. Last 4 digit 3989. What is your name and where are you calling from? Hello?
My name is Kenneth Harris. I'm calling from Seattle.
Kenneth Harris from Seattle. How are you, sir?
I'm wonderful.
What's your take?
Events for months I stopped following your show. I already used to love your show. Since you brought out of that already, you there, who is a strong supporter of the ANC, it's the effort I always take to stay with your show. I'm
glad that you're back and stay on. Don't go away because of somebody else's opinion.
I only came to your show because of Dwalo, because I support where he supported before. And I am a strong supporter of Taiwan.
Oh, okay.
And to hear that settled behind you, using the strong words on our former black president, I think you need to restrict him a little bit. And I don't know what Dwalo will have to come on your show with ANC members. I think that is a very embarrassment for him. I was just glad to say this.
But Dolly, to a point though. But Dolly did not say he's supporting Taiwan though. Dolly said he's a supporter of GNB.
He doesn't support Taiwan. Yeah, he supports GNB. I have my first choice is Taiwan. My second is GNB.
Okay.
I can never. It is an comments and call it, Georgia run face to face, I will vote for Georgia. I don't like Alexander Cummings.
I just said that here. There are people that with that mindset.
The way he came into Liberian politics is what I don't like.
You have to give reason, my man. You have a choice to do who we want to support.
I just trying to bring it to the point that I think we have to give the vice president a very respectful prayer instead of all coming onto your shows and try to discuss him not running. What
I want to the UP people, not us.
Right. And then so I would like to say to you, precisely to your co-host over there, he had to change his behavior.
Thank you.
You support Alexander Cummings, but let him start disrespecting our VP. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's go to the next caller here. This is John Maolo. Mr. Maolo, how are you? I have his number saved in my phone. Are you there?
How are you doing, Siku, and to the rest of the
we are doing wonderful. How are you, sir?
Good. Listen, my first thought goes to the guy who called and said, even if something happened to the old man, Cummings will never be president yet. Well, I didn't know the house of God there in Liberia, but you see, we got to prioritize what's best for our country. People take this politics thing personally. This thing is a psychological, intellectual exercise. It's not personal. And if we love our country, we will look for the best, most competent person to take us from the mess we put ourselves in with that same kind of idea. And until we're ready to do that, then we're not ready to come out of the mess we're in. And we make mistakes this time around. We don't.
Thank you.
The second thing I wanted to say is I'm curious to understand why a young, seemingly progressive thinker like Dwalu will be so bent on voting for Buckeye. I want to know what's surrounding that idea that's correlating a young, seemingly progressive thinker to a Buckeye who has exemplified all that he's able to do already. I want to understand that kind of thinking.
Thank you.
Because for what Dwalu says and writes, I'm surprised that his thinking is in that direction.
Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much, Mr. Mawolo. I think this is the last caller here. Then we'll go to the folks here. Caller, what is your name and where are you calling from?
My name is Flomo Segbe. I'm calling from Minnesota.
Flomo Segbe. Welcome to SKTV. What is your take, brother?
The thing is, I think once you are a public figure, it is a fair thing to talk about the poison health because they will represent you. But in doing so, too, you need to be respectful of the person's status. And sometimes some have kind of privacy and what have you. Whether he's ill or he's doing good, that's not my concern right now. My concern is the offer from government should have been considered if you need it. But if the government gave the same person $2,500 when his mother-in-law passed away, and they came back and made mockery out of it, so how do we trust them? How will the VP trust them to take another offer from them? So it's just a political point. But fast forward, the question I will ask, if workers incapacitated to run, would be nice. And I think Dwalu struck a beautiful point. Okay, let's okay, let's come in wrong. I was supposed to come in. People were listening to him. It will not be 100%, but people will listen to him because they believe in his ability. They believe in him. So So when you say UP don't have anybody decide Buckeye, no. If Buckeye decides, okay, I will support Tiawan Gonglo. People will vote for Tiawan Gonglo because of Buckeye. Not necessarily he may win, but you have a Buckeye saying, I support Tiawan Gonglo, even the vote he has today will even triple. Because
Thank
of
you.
that statement from Buckeye. They will triple. So whether he wins or not, that's how we're talking about. He had a say. But for Steve to say Walker will never run in 2023 election, I think that's a bad thing. And if bring me to the other thing that with the situation of Walker today, whether it's A or not, ANC people feel that will benefit them. That's how they feel.
All right, bro. Thank you. We're gonna leave it there.
Benefit them. No, but Sekou, you gotta give me a chance. Let me learn on this.
Okay, learn.
Please. Yeah, let me learn on this, Sekou. ANC people feel that will benefit them. And the problem is, Walker Amen will not, will in no way benefit ANC. Because Walker will decide to say, I'll support Yawan, or I'll support Yambri to run, and at the end, the supporter will go for Yambri or Yawan Congo. So you should not be praying for that is Steve. So you say you will never run.
All right, my brother. Thank you.
It's a formidable foe, and he will be a formidable foe in a race.
All right.
And I want you to turn it on to say at Kennedy, I want to say sorry.
All right.
He will bounce back.
All right. Thank you, my brother. Thank you very much. We appreciate it. So, folks, I know calls are still coming in, but we got to go to the folks on here because let me say one thing though, before I go back to you guys. Based on some of the things I listened to, I just want to say one thing. In as much as the question from Steve, he asked that should something happen to Bwaka decides not to run, and how the race going to look like. That doesn't mean when Bwaka is in, somebody else can win. Bwaka can still be in. Cummings can stay beat Bwaka and go the second round with George Weah. Equally so, Bwaka could still be in. Bwaka and Cummings could end up going to the second round. So I don't think that Cummings' ability to advance to the second round contingent upon Bwaka being out. If you have that kind of mindset today, you are misleading yourself. This is a wide open race. And what I know, beside the three people on the top, if any of the three is out, it will definitely be a binary choice. And I stand with that, and I know I'm telling the truth.
Mr. Kane, quickly, guys.
Go ahead,
I got a caller, just one caller. Yes, caller, what's your name? Where you calling from, please?
Good afternoon. This is Theola Gibson. How you guys doing?
Oh.
Hey, Theola.
So I just wanted to clarify something. I hear all these boycott supporters calling in and say ANC wish boycott was sick, ANC wish boycott would die because it's the only pathway to the presidency. That is so wrong. If you guys are watching on Facebook, you have not seen anybody from ANC say anything negative about Omar Boycott being sick. In fact, I've reached out to Omar Boycott, some of his family members, expressing my empathy. There is no way on this earth that anybody from ANC will wish that Omar Boycott would die for Cummings to be president. That is so wrong. People need to stop saying that. Mr. Boycott is somebody's father. He is somebody's grandfather. He is somebody's husband. Nobody from ANC is wishing him dead. Y'all need to stop that. It is not right. It is wrong. Everybody is praying for his health because his health is important more than the presidency or more than anything else. ANC is not wishing Mr. Boycott any harm. You need to take that out of your mind because we're not. If that's what we wanted, you will see people posting on Facebook and rejoicing over him being ill. Y'all need to stop. This divisiveness and this bad politics you all like to play when it comes to people's health and stuff, that's wrong. Y'all need to stop that. ANC wish Boycott well. ANC wants a competition. ANC want no something handed to them. won a competition. If Woman Breakout wins, we support him. If Woman Breakout goes to the second round where we are, we will support Woman Breakout. Okay, so you're hearing it from me. I am the chairman for the DMV chapter of ANC. If Woman Breakout goes to the second round with we will support Breakout. But y'all stop all that nonsense.
Well, we will put you on record.
Mr. Breakout, any favor, Mr. Breakout is entitled to medical benefits. So the should stop acting like they're doing him a favor by offering him a way out of the country to seek his medical help. He is the former VP and he's entitled to all of those benefits. All right, you guys have a good one.
All right, thank you, Tiola.
Well, Tiola, I'm not sure if your position permits you to commit the ANC to that, but we for the record, we'll keep you on record. Let's see what happens. So I just want to add that.
But and let me just chime in before we actually move forward. I know we probably want to jump to the next stage here. I hear a lot of Liberians, and just from the few phone calls I'm listening to here. Right now, the grudge amongst opposition, and that was the reason why I sat down and said, one person leaving the race does not necessarily make it a green light for the next person, because what the opposition forgot yesterday is that the idea to bring in this level of hate, all right, division amongst themselves, actually was simply the road to their own death. And this is where we are today. People are holding grudges. It's not a secret. And I said this on my platform days ago. I said people from the Unity Party camp, no, definitely they would not. And they have committed to themselves. They would never support a Cummings presidency. And the same thing goes towards the ANC camp. Tiola can say what she wants because she's an individual. Again, she's in leadership. So again, she represents a specific portion of the institution where they have to publicly present themselves professionally. But individual candidates, matter of fact, read the comments on here. There are people who are saying, no, we will not do it. So this is not just one way, it's versatile. And for people to come on here and say, you're on the ANC platform and people are attacking, you know what? I will address that part in my parting statement, but I think it's not fair to Steve, the fact that he voiced his opinion. He may be very strong very opinionated. That does not necessarily make him a bad person. How often do you all sit here and criticize other people's involvement? As a matter of fact, Liberians back home have labeled us as December. Do they hate us? Liberians back home, you go back home, they have created this segregation. Do they hate us? Eugene Fango and other people, they started this country versus Congo thing, and they continue to push it. Is that hate? Until we can realize as a nation, we look at the bigger picture, we will not move Liberia forward. Steve is just going to be who he is. He is, again, upfront with his view. Maybe if you ask him to condense it a little bit so that you can be pleased with his utterance, but I don't think this man should be censored based on his view. Coming here talking about is an ANC platform. I never knew that SKTV was an ANC platform because I know across Africa see SKTV as a competitor, and I came here purposely to discuss Liberia, and I put aside the emblem or the institution that is running the show. This is about Liberia, and I have availed myself. I always go on Liberia Public Network. Mr. Saul will invite me over there for us to discuss the issue. I appear on these reputable platforms because I believe Liberians deserve better, and not simply to just go and sit out there and be a part of a gossip. Instead, be a part of a platform that will reveal to the public the actual happening and the truth in all sincerity. So when you come out here and say Lofa, Sekou, and what's his name, Steve, are all ANC folks. Douala was on he was on Across Africa for several months. I mean, he's right here when we were doing politics versus economics. So I don't know how you guys come up with these things, but I think sometimes it's just fair for you to think outside the box Give yourself the opportunity.
Let me come in on.
Thank you.
Okay, I want to say this. This thing is never personal for me.
Yeah.
People saying go on different platforms. Listen, I love to go on platforms that disagree with my view. This is the only way you can get them to understand from your perspective. So if a platform is not in alignment with my view, that's the platform I love to go on. This is what I tell people. You know, a lot of people will call me, oh, Dwight, why are you supporting the person? I never want government job in my life, ever. I would never, ever take government job. I'm not government job kind of person. So what I talk for is for Liberia. But I want to address a few things. But I want to say this. There's a girl on here called Corella Wallow. My spirit take you, mama. Even though you disagree with me heavily, my spirit kind of take you. So I think I just made a brand new friend. But I want to say this: with all the back and forth we've been addressing,
you got to be clear without your spirit. Without your spirit, there.
Hey, my man, Sekou, that's not that kind of spirit.
I don't want you to be clear.
I know it. Just upon
all the other people there,
yeah, because all my kids, but I will not let my father do the kind of thing where you messing my train of thought.
Yeah, I'm just messing with you, man. Go ahead.
I know. So far, everything I've been listening to on the show, and I want to say something. Until Gibson did say something. Look, yes, she cannot unilaterally say ANC is going to support, but she does have some influence. And I hope the UP folks too can come out and say, listen, if this happens, we're going to support. This is the cohesion we're talking about in the opposition. And I really want to appreciate Theodore for saying that. Yes, she cannot unilaterally make that decision, but she has some influence within the political organization. But I want to say this as well. All the thing I've been hearing from this show today, even the colors that disagree with Honorable Bwakai, there has not been a single case made against Honorable Bwakai with the exception of his age. That's the only case. Number two, I don't see any strategy that's been put forth so far from the ANC of anybody in the opposition, with the exception for the hope of the.
I'm going to jump in here real quick because I don't think the issue of making a case against Honorable Bwakai was ever put out there. It was never. That was not.
Right. It
was never because if that is the case, then we can make the case. Right. Don't make it seem like no one was able to make the case against Bwakai.
So, Lofa, let me agree with you. Answer you continue.
Thank you.
The conversation today was never about discussing Joseph Bwakai or Commission's platform or who is better prepared or this and that. No. Okay. If there was discussion about giving reason why people should vote for or against somebody, then you can come up with that kind of, saying. But right now, it was not about it. Business was never about that.
Thank you.
Maybe you can refer to different. You can refer to the past. If at all, in this whole political arena, you have never heard anybody saying anything. You can make that reference, but not from the show today. Please don't do that.
Okay. Because hey, that's your talking. That was never the discussion. But I gave you the chance. Let me continue. Yeah. I've never heard any case being made against Honorable Bwakai, and so far. Now, there was a guy that called. I forgot his name, but he asked a question, and even my sister, Townsend, Seattle Townsend, also wants to know why would I support a man, the Honorable Bwakai? And I've explained this many times. Now, Sekou, if you know me from the beginning when I used to come on your show, I was a unrepentant Cummings supporter in the beginning, and I've given justification why I shy away from Honorable Cummings. Okay, the justification I've been explained repeatedly on several shows that I put for. We don't have time for me to go through the justification, and there's a singular reason why I support.
I will let them know briefly.
Oh no, I'm not going to give you brief because if you don't get the totality of my decision, it's going to be chopped up, and then it's not going to come out right. So I'm not going to do that. But at the end of the day, we have to talk about Liberia. It's going to look. Stop taking it personal. We have to talk about these things, and sometimes it will rub people wrong. You can't try to muscle on Steve. Says Steve cannot say it this way or say it that way. Listen, democracy is it's a little bloody sport at times, even though the actual blood, but it's a gladiatorial sport. We have to talk about this issue. The only way we're going to grow this society to where we want to grow, if Sekou wants to be my representative, let's pick Sekou apart to make sure he's truly prepared to occupy that space. If he's not prepared to occupy that space, he is going to fail. Part of that scrutiny for Sekou is making sure we investigate everything about Sekou. Everything about Sekou. There's nothing wrong with that. It is not about hate. We're quick to attribute this to hate. Seditionists are notorious for this. Every time Duarte speak against, if I published a paper last week called "The Case Against President Weah's Re-Election," the first thing is you're jealous of the man. You hit the man. You just hit the ball. Are you serious? Why would I be jealous of President Weah? I don't even understand it. He has a privileged position. The reason why we talk, because the man has my future, my children's future in his hands. And every decision he makes, whether that decision is intended or not, it has a direct consequence on everybody in the republic. And this is why we talk. At the end of the day, we want to appreciate the audience. And I will clarify my spirit taking, the Corella. You got Corella on my case, and she just appears the kind of person to interact with. That's it. Y'all start until I blow your ANC girl. I give it back to you guys.
Thank you. Well,
Okay.
What Mr. Kana was mentioned, let me.
No. I'll do that. I just wanted to say something to answer regarding somebody asked as to why a similar progressive mind like him supporting, but the only reason he gave us for his supporting, but he didn't tell us actually why he switched his support from Cummings, but he said earlier the reason why he's supporting Ambassador Boakai, is because his age. So we'll take that.
Well, no, read the paper. I'll read a whole paper on it. Because if I say one thing, you're not get. I'll read.
Never you say his age.
I
told you to summarize. If I
try to summarize it, I need at least 3 to 4 minutes.
You summarize for Boakai, because his age, and we'll take that.
Okay, let me get a summary. Say you want to get a summary. Please, 30 seconds. Let me get a summary. Say the man insisting. There is nobody in Liberian politics that's more prepared than Honorable Boakai. There is nobody that understands the problems of our country than Honorable Boakai. Nobody understands the intercultural connectivity of our society than Honorable Boakai. There's nobody that understands all the nitty-gritty, what is required, what foundations have to be laid for us to elevate from this place of shame and disgrace into a place of prominence than Honorable Boakai. Nobody currently in that race can articulate our problem better than Honorable Boakai as it stands.
Okay.
I'll give it back to you guys.
You know what? That even opens up more questions, but let's go to Steve.
First of all, I want to say thanks to all of the guys for joining. Thanks to the callers and the viewers. Let me say this. I respect your views. If you think and believe I'm an ANC man or I'm a Cummings man or whatever it is, I respect that. I don't have a problem. But I will always stand with the facts, especially when I have the facts available to me. I'm not confused. I don't think I will ever be confused about what I want, who I want to support, where I want to lean, what I want to do, what I don't want to do. That will never happen. Never. The issue of me predicting Honorable Vice President Joseph Yuma Boakai not running the race. And not today I started talking to him. And not today Sekou saying it too as well. Sekou has said that before, but I will speak for myself. I can speak for Sekou. I will say again, read my lips. Joseph Yuma Boakai will not run in 2023 elections. The same way I told y'all, some of you, Joseph Yuma Boakai support us, and UPS, that United Party was going to be flogged in Lofa County. I was on Spoon December 31st, 2021. I made those two predictions. I was not drunk when I said that. And they flogged Unity Party. I'm saying to you, and I said on Yaseni show that there will be some Unity Party partisans. Most of them will not support Cummings because they are laying the basis for this. Who told you they don't know that Joseph Yuma Boakai will not run? They stay in denial. But we are getting there. Pregnancy can't be on. We are getting there. If you think this is a wish, some of you don't think, you think all I would have seen, you think because you support Joseph Yuma Boakai or you support Cummings, so that means I should go in my closet and manufacture something in public and put my name on it. So today, tomorrow you can call me liar. You can't call me a liar because most of the things, almost all the things I said, most of them have come to pass, and the other ones will come to pass as well. I'm not boasting, but because you don't pay attention, you are so engulfed into your partisanship and your support for somebody, you forget about reality. We are faced with reality, my people. The sooner you start adjusting and start coming to terms with reality, the better it will be for some of you. The same way I said, Joseph Yuma Boakai will be flogged in Lofa County. I'm saying it tonight again. Go write it down. Tonight, that is 14th. The 13th, I mean. Go write it down in your book. Joseph Yuma Boakai will not run. You not like it? That your business. You like it? That your business. That's not my worry. You guys tell me I don't have a problem with you.
I see nothing wrong with that.
Okay, let's go to Lofa, and I want to do this open invitation. I'm not sure about your schedule. Mm-hmm. Both you guys are invited tomorrow because tomorrow we're going to ask people, and I believe we're going to be on the radio. We're going to ask people. We're going to be on the radio on Truth FM. we're going to ask people about their second choice. It's not. We are not going to ask if something happened. Don't know. It's not about. If let's say, okay, if not Boakai, who? If not Komis, who? If not Yowia, who? That's the question I'm going to ask people. We want to hear from the people, and you tell us why. Not just like a Dwalu. We can't say. You can't say nobody without queuing any data.
Yeah, but the timing of that is very wrong. It has a connotation to it that there is a probability that Honorable Baga could be incapacitated.
No. That's not.
I'm just saying what I see.
No, I'm saying no. You know, you got it wrong. I'm saying, like, say for example, they all stay in the game, right? At the end of the day, only 2 people are going to go for the second round. So that's what we say. If this person,
the question will be your second choice. It's not.
It's second choice. It doesn't matter.
They're not saying.
You're refusing to see what I'm saying, though, Julius.
No. I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from as far as, you know, with the recent happening. And with everything around that, I think it appears as though people should start thinking
preempting. Exactly.
Preempting. But at the same time, it hopefully it would be well explained so that people can have a better understanding of what is being discussed. And I think Sekou and Steve hopefully will have a better way of explaining that so that people can understand, especially for our folks back home. Yeah. And then folks on here too, we should also consider comments as to why they will either consider a second choice. And you never know. People might say George Weah. Yeah. But let me just with that said, let me just close on this note and say it was a great conversation. Again, I'm very grateful that somebody wrote something here. I was trying to read what they wrote. But anyway, let me say a conversation was a great one. We will always and should always engage in this kind of conversation as long as we can keep it civil and hopefully focus on the educational aspect of it. I think our people benefit a lot from this kind of conversation and keep it void of deception. You know, the fights that comes with these conversations help us for the transformation that we all seek for Mama Liberia. And I think, like I said, at the very genesis of my statement, we are on the right trajectory. Yesteryears, we were not opportune to have these kind of conversations, all right? Today, we are sitting and having these kind of conversations, and we are involving some of the topics that were yesterday considered toxic for the public. Today, we are discussing it, and even though people disagree with position statements, yet and still, they go back in their closets and say, you know what? I may disagree with this person on that point because of my political affiliation or because of my support, but I still say they may have a point. And this is where our conscience come into play. And that's why we continue to say politics is not about creating animosity. It's about, having to elevate the conversation to the next level in order for the nation growth and progress of every mankind so that our wealth can be equally distributed across the board, regardless of your tribe, political affiliation, or gender. And this is why some of us will always avail ourselves to, platforms that is focused on education and not propaganda or simply gossips and these other things. So, and I want to say to everybody who continuously avail themselves on this platform to communicate their views and contribute in a very positive way, good thing. That is your way of contributing. Whether you disagree with Sekou's comment, good. Disagree with Sekou based on the issue, based on substance, not just simply based on personal attack. Like I heard a few people saying, Steve Bully, or excuse me, Moses is doing it. No, you can actually hold Steve to his statement and erect the needed checkpoints so that Steve can come back on here and understand that he's not simply speaking to a vacuum, but actually he's speaking to people with level mind. You can do that. You have the ability to do that. So stop the personal attack, discuss the issue, and say this. Going forward, I end on this note. I hear Dwalu said that no one understands the political dynamics more than Honorable Boycott. We will talk about that tomorrow. I'll take you on that.
Definitely.
Thank you.
Well, okay, I'm going to say this.
Go ahead, close. Yeah.
Let me get close. I want to thank the audience. Sekou, you have, I think, one of the most engaging audience, and we appreciate their presence. We cannot do it without them. But I wanted to remember, and Julia said something, and I want you guys to think about this. This is a tremendous privilege for us to be able to talk about our country, to, like he said yesteryear, these opportunities did not exist. This is why the Civil War happened. I firmly believe that we have these kind of platforms. Maybe the Civil War was not going to go as long, or maybe we're going to prevent it happening. So the talk we talk is not here for another opposition. Look, I will always remain to my core. I have a soft spot for Mr. Cummings. I'll continue to explain it because of what this man has achieved and what I believe this man can deliver to my country. There's a reason that I shy away from this man. I've explained this reason, but I will continue to say this. We all have to want better for Liberia. We have to want better in what way? If just because we want better, that I want is different from your better, it doesn't mean we cannot drink palm wine together. It doesn't mean if it's Ramadan, sick will be there. You know, I'm not inviting into already. You can say I'm not inviting into to come to the Ramadan. No, we should be beyond that. At the end of the day, we are still brothers, but we just want the better for Liberia in different ways. The goal now is to find a channel through which that better can be achieved for the betterment of us all. That's our intent at the end of the day. Nothing we have in mind. Thank God we are here and we continue to make ourselves available for the glory of Liberia. It's always for the glory of Liberia. Thank you so much, Sekou.
See you tomorrow, Ansu. See you tomorrow.
Well, I'm not sure if I'll be in tomorrow.
No, if you have chance to come, that's
fine. I will jump in. Yes.
If you don't come, maybe I'll call Lobo. I'll call John. I'll call somebody. One of the JMB fanatics, or maybe what's his name? My brother Ali. Anybody that's I know. They're my friend, brothers, and they are
bye, Corella, Willow, bye.
Yeah, all of you guys here. So, right. Thank you, man. Thank you very much. All right. So, folks, we'll call it a day. We'll be here tomorrow. Be ready and come with your answer tomorrow. Who is your second choice? And we appreciate, and respect your choice. So that's what it is. We'll be here tomorrow and we will see you tomorrow. So right now, every good thing must come to an end. We got to leave it there for today. And I don't like to go without playing that my favorite song.
Hey. Yeah. Oh. Yeah. Oh. It was gonna be. D12 on the beat.